Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com, wherever you are. There you have it. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Comfortably ensconced in our respective houses. It's been a year. Feels like, for me, 365 days, though we'll celebrate the end of what was a remarkable football season in every measure. Yesterday's Super Bowl L Football Trophy V, was not what it was billed up to be, but it was certainly one for the ages because of what we will take away from that. The GOAT is now the GOATiest. The young GOAT has some more work to do, but at the end of the day, Jason, the better team won, right? Tampa Bay was just better from the beginning to the end of the game.
On that particular Sunday night, yeah. And that's the incredible part of the NFL. It's not a best-of-7 series. All of us for 2 weeks have discounted offensive linemen because of Patrick Mahomes and the creativity of an Andy Reid and an Eric Bieniemy. And instead, Tampa Bay's great defensive line made Patrick Mahomes feel like Ben DiNucci did for a Sunday afternoon. But honestly, the fact that Patrick Mahomes was under that kind of pressure, never gave up, still kept plays alive, will add to his legend over time. I thought he played incredible, all things considered, but Tom Brady's the man. Never bet against Tom Brady. 82% of the money was on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. 82%. Although the two biggest bets, one by Mattress Mac down there in Houston, were on the Buccaneers. Go figure.
Those are the smart monies. Yeah, we're going to look at the game completely, talk about the commercials, of course, and nearly naked bra-wearing streakers, and Kevin Harlan making a fantastic call. It was almost too good and too perfect. Timing almost ideal. Starting to wonder if that wasn't staged.
No.
But he is too good at it. We're certainly going to look at that. I know that it's made it around the socials, but when you get a legendary call from a legend, you have to play it over and over and then keep it in perpetuity. I think this is going to be one of those legendary. Pull up your pants, take off your bra, and act like a man. I'm pretty sure this is going to stay with us from now on. This is one of those playoffs, and I'm a man, and pull up your pants, take off your bra, and act like a man.
That's it. Pledge has already got it on a hotkey. We're going to hear that thing forever.
Oh, the jokes that just go along with it. We'll listen to it once again. The Dallas Cowboys, in preparation for next season and propping up last, have released a brief 32-second hype video, kind of highlighting what happened and left out a pretty key component, maybe not for last year, but for future years. We think there's no Dak highlights in the Cowboy hype video. Now, the online types are losing their minds. I don't know where to land on this, Jason. We're going to talk about it, but are the Cowboys that devious?
No, whoever put together the video to not include the quarterback, that's more than just an oversight, right? It's got to be. He is the most important player on your franchise and the most talked about player on your franchise. But to think that Jerry or Stephen or Mike McCarthy called the digital media department and said, hey, day after the Super Bowl, hype video for next year, because we're going next year. We need a video, just don't include our quarterback. No, that didn't happen. But the fact that somebody put together a video, and I don't know who was all on their staff. Like, we got a guy who works on our digital stuff that has no idea about the sports. He'll ask who won the World Series last night. No clue. But somebody saw that before it hit the Twitter, right? Somebody else saw that and thought, man, that was cool. Hey, no number 4 in there?
Changes.
We're going to have some changes. We're going to have some. Well, whatever the case, it doesn't look good, and the internet trolls and the blogging tribe ain't happy. And it might be something to it, though I completely doubt it. We'll look there for sure. The Spurs getting ready for a back-to-backer, kind of. They get the Golden State Warriors 2 in a row coming off a nice win against Houston on Saturday night. Of course, DeMar was DeMar, and the rest kind of fell into place, though. Still lots of questions to be asked as the Spurs get into this week of Western Conference tie-breaking type of games. Jill Jelnick will join us at 6:30 as we look toward tonight and look back at the Houston Rocket game with the Spurs, continuing to try to find their groove with an opportunity to really make some hay. I think the rest of the league is starting to kind of wake up to the Spurs. We'll look at what the Nationals are saying about them as well. But coming back, man, we're got a lot to look at with the Super Bowl. Jason, with the buildup that all had occurred as the kickoff was getting ready to go, all that is watched, that flyby with all those different B-type planes flying over. It was beautiful. And the expectation was we are in for something special. We are in for something that the last guy with the ball will have an opportunity with 2 minutes to glory kind of thing. And it never really panned out. I know hindsight's 20/20. But in hindsight, shouldn't we have looked at that and said there are far too many great football minds at play here, from Bieniemy to Bowles and from Reed, they're no risky, no bisky, all this stuff coming together. And 9 times out of 10, those kind of games turn on the defensive side.
They do. And I mean, you look at Vita Vea, the defensive players for Tampa Bay, the great offensive players for Kansas City. But it was a super dud. Even that, I thought it was going to be high scoring. Remember, I was all week. I'm surprised that the over-under is what it is. I thought it was going to be a high scoring football game because, yes, great defenses win championships, but those offenses are there. And, no tackles, no problems. Andy Reid is the best at getting Mahomes on the move. Well, he was on the move last night. It was disappointing because you're right. The hype was there. And by the way, that flyover for them just to use 3 different bombers,
that was crazy.
That was awesome. That was awesome. That was the best part of the night until the game started. I mean, just because the game itself and halftime was yeah. That's where you hang out in the kitchen and do tequila shots.
Let's give credit where credit is due. When we come back, Tom Brady. Is this the greatest playoff run in history? The quarterbacks that the Buccaneers took down are absolutely legendary. They sit on the top of the heap, and the good news is a 43-year-old Tom Brady is ready to come back and compete again. Let's look at the Bucs and the World Championship that they just earned coming up next, and certainly your calls. It won't be any fun without you here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Did you jump up too quickly on those early scores? Were you kind of excited and pull a muscle watching the game yesterday, running toward the dip on that first break? If you are dealing with any kind of pain, I want you to call my friends over to Rosti. Rosti providers all around San Antonio are experts. They successfully resolve most chronic soft tissue injuries, those chronic painful injuries like sprains and pulls, in a remarkably short amount of time. They can and will help if you're dealing with pain. A Rosti is a non-invasive procedure. I'm not talking about getting surgery, and I'm certainly not talking about dealing with medications, either over-the-counter or prescriptive, that are there to dull the pain. I'm talking about work that takes the pain away. If you fix the problem, 9 times out of 10, the pain goes away, and that's what a Rosti does. Non-invasive, your body healing itself in a remarkably short amount of time. I've always dealt with lower back issues, sciatica and the like. Not only have they gotten me back in the game, but they've taught me how to stay healthy. If you go to their website, Rosti.com, AIRROSTI.com, you'll see a great list of tips and tricks that have really been a godsend for me. I want you to call them and make your appointment right now. The number is 1-800-404-6050. Again, 1-800-404-6050. Go ahead and make that call. You don't need a referral to go see an Rosti provider, and they certainly accept most insurances. Do not let pain stop you and keep you from doing things that you love. Call an Rosti provider today. Get yourself taken care of, and I am sure once you do, you'll thank me later.
Game Nights The Blitz focuses on your silver and black in depth for 30 minutes. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
Spend your game nights with us. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll love is easy at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's. With an expanded selection of designer jewelry and our best offer ever, 5 years, 0 interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of the big Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, Diamonds Direct is featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before, perfect for Valentine's. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years, 0 interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir.
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Wendy's new classic chicken sandwich is now in the 2 for $5, and that's reason to celebrate. Try the new classic and then take your mouth on a victory lap with the iconic Dave's single, the delicious spicy chicken sandwich, spicy or crispy 10-piece nuggets, or just get another classic chicken sandwich. Taste greatness today with Wendy's 2 for $5. We got you.
For a limited time, a la carte only. Price and participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's.
So they're going to have one more snap, and that will be all she wrote. He goes to a knee after getting it. How about this? How about this? In a world turned upside down by pandemic, in a year where everything has been different, one thing remains the same. Tom Brady is a Super Bowl champion again for the record-setting 7th time. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl 55 champions, led by Tom Brady. Absolutely a player for the ages. We just hit zeros and it's over. The Buccaneers have beaten the defending champion Chiefs 31-9.
The legendary Kevin Harlan, right there on Westwood One coverage. Yep, he did it 31-9. After all the ado and all the talk of the offense that was, no touchdowns to be had. Mahomes running for his life all day long. Devin White is a heat-seeking missile that hits to hurt every time if he gets you. And Tom Brady was Tom Brady. Nothing spectacular, just near perfection. 21-29. They ran the ball effectively. Gronk comes out of the shadows for 6 catches, leads them with a couple of touchdowns. And the Buccaneers just proved that Tom Brady is everything that we thought he was, and then some, and we still get more. He said,
I saw somebody say that, because, he did win MVP again, and there's debate. I thought we could have had co-defensive MVPs like you had with Randy White and Harvey Martin back in the day. Somebody on the defense, but the defense as a whole was so good, hard to pick one guy out. I know Ndamukong Suh had 1.5 of the 3 sacks, and, Sue and White or Shaq Barrett, or, but it's Tom freaking Brady. So it's hard to argue with Tom Brady winning the MVP because he did throw 3 touchdowns and masterful. But somebody said one of the biggest things he gave to that team was belief that they could win. Apparently, last week he texted everybody in the entire team in the group text, "We will win this game." Texted them every night. He gave them the sense that all the hype was on the other side, and yet they go out there and they dominate. What's crazy though, if you watch that game and you look at the stat sheet, Kansas City had more yards total offense than did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The most bizarre stat was 500 scrambling yards for Patrick Mahomes. Yet he only got sacked 3 times. For the handful of legit longtime Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, man, congrats, because that was incredible and quite honestly unexpected. Most were going with Kansas City. Baby Goat, not the greatest of all time, the greatest of right now. And Tom Brady said, "You know what? I'm both."
I appreciate at the end of the season, as we went through the coaching carousel and the axiom from the league and the ideas behind improving the minority setup with head coaches. We just have to get it fixed, and they didn't do a very good job, or whatever the case is. Only 2 were hired. I think post game we're talking about 2 things where 2 coaches were primarily responsible here. Todd Bowles, while he wasn't considered as a head coaching candidate in this year's search, will certainly be on the very top of every list next year. And Bieniemy will continue to be there. I thought the story was that great defense that Bowles put together. Everything that we saw in the first game between the 2, he learned from. That bad stuff didn't happen. And they just went out and dominated a Kansas City Chiefs team. In hindsight, when you're looking back on it, did it feel like the Chiefs kind of started to panic a little quick? Like they realized very early on that everything they wanted to do, given the time that Mahomes was having and the coverage that they were dealing with, and some strange calls were put that took their offense or took that defense and kept them on the field, that they got scared quick and never really adjusted to coming back and playing Kansas City Chiefs football. Even in the third quarter, I still felt like they were trying to catch up instead of just win the next play.
Well, I kind of feel, yes, I do agree with what you're saying there because, first series, nerves feeling out, those offensive linemen were just getting hammered. But also the coverage that Tampa Bay was playing. There was no one-on-one with, Tyreek on a linebacker. And they zoned up and took a lot of that away. And the pressure, they brought pressure so much. They weren't going to give Mahomes time to sit back there and find the open guy. And it's incredible some of the throws that dude still made. I don't know how he was able to put some of those throws on the money the way he did. And again, you go back and you say, okay, they were there. But I think with Kansas City, they played so many one-score games this year that they tend not to panic when they get down. They've been there before, yet they didn't act like that in the game.
Right.
They were trying to steal possessions. Andy Reid will get questioned forever for calling timeouts on that final minute of the first half, thinking, all right, well, we'll stop the clock and get a stop and, give our offense a chance to score. Then we get the ball back to start the second half. We can get 2 scores here. And again, aggressive. That's what Andy Reid does. But his defense wasn't playing well enough. I mean, I know they got the big stop on first down, and then second down was that pass to Godwin, then Gronk, they get the first down. Then all of a sudden you're kicking a field goal, offsides, and now they end up with a touchdown. But Andy Reid stopping the clock for Tampa Bay allowed that drive to continue. What's the right thing to do there? I was a little surprised they were taking timeouts when they did, because it's not like their offense was in sync enough to say, hey, let's get another possession before halftime. I was thinking get to the locker room and regroup. But Kansas City has had so many poor starts and close games. I really do think, man, one play we'll hit it, and that'll get us in the rhythm. And it just never happened.
They're not a great running team, and certainly Tampa's proven one of the best team against the run all game. But at some point, you got to utilize some of your weapons, and it just seemed like they left that. They weren't going to let Kelsey beat him. It was kind of a Greg Popovich idea, like, all right, you're the best player, you beat us, but nobody else will. We're gonna make sure those guys are draped early and quick, and you're under pressure immediately and beat us. And I think the ankle had a lot to do with it, Jason. I think it just wasn't going to happen last night. It was a sloppy, loose kind of Kansas City Chief team that proved their talent. Gosh, the fact that they were even in it, considering all the things that had happened, was a testament to Mahomes, but it just wasn't going to be enough. And I think we all realized that about 5 minutes into the third quarter. About 5 minutes in, I think we all hoped that the enemy would come in and they'd find some way to give him just a second or two of time, just enough to give him one more second for a receiver to break, and they couldn't.
Well, I mean, you look at, the Chiefs scored that field goal, so they get on the board first. Then you get those 2 quick touchdowns from Gronkowski, right at the end of the first quarter, and then into the second, then another field goal. So you're looking at 14-6, and then you go, okay, well, where are they? A couple of things could happen there if Kansas City is able to get into the end zone. And, they had some receivers drop some passes. I mean, was it Tyreek that had the one that go through his hands and off his face mask? That could have been 6. You had Kelsey with the drop. You had some drops that you generally don't expect from that Kansas City team, but you never ended up with that big play as well. So when you look at what Kansas City was doing offensively, it was kind of like, Mahomes is scrambling for his life, but his receivers didn't help him out the way you expect them to.
It was a loose, sloppy game. A lot of that could be attributed to just the bizarre circumstances they're in. Certainly, we know the circumstances with their head coach, Andy Reid, and their linebackers coach, who was in the Andy Reid's son, who was in that terrible crash, the strangeness of just treating it like it's another game when it's not. You can fly in on Saturday beforehand and have your regular schedule, but it's still the Super Bowl. They never really looked tight, never really together. And Tampa, to their credit, made sure that they never could find it. They just hit you all day long.
They did. And then, I think, you get the goal line stand, the Chiefs did. Now they're looking at going 99 yards. I was thinking, well, one short little pass here to Tyreek Hill, he could take it to 99, and that could completely change this game. Just every time you thought a break was coming for Kansas City, they never found it. Tampa Bay was able to make some stops. I mean, you think about, it could have been an uglier blowout loss. And let's face it. I mean, there's, Peyton Manning and, a lot of these guys have been blown out in Super Bowls, right? It does happen, which is always disappointing. We want every Super Bowl to be a great game between two great teams, and it doesn't always work out that way. Last night, it was all about those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, defensively, I really thought that somebody on the defensive side would win MVP, but I'm not surprised that they gave it to Tom Brady.
What would the number have had to have been before you laid money on a prop bet that told you that Kansas City would not score a touchdown?
I don't know that
of odd would you go, all right, I'm finally in.
I mean, for me to put down $20, I'd have to win like $1,500. I mean, why would I flush $20 down the drain? Exactly. I mean, it's not like Pat McAfee who lost, 300 large on the coin toss. I mean, you think about Pat McAfee, and he was talking about it this morning's on the Get Up, going, man, my night was ruined right from the coin toss. And there you go. I mean, it was, but no, that would be a prop bet. And I wonder how much action was that even available on a prop bet that Kansas City would fail to score a touchdown?
Certainly. What would have been less likely in your mind? No passing touchdowns or just no touchdowns from Patrick Mahomes?
No passing touchdowns.
It just seemed outrageous that the Chiefs would have been touchdownless in a game like this, because all I could think of was, how is Tampa Bay going to manufacture enough offense to keep up with the Chiefs? Photo negative, I'll tell you what. Now, Dak Prescott, he's got a different issue. He is recouping from an injury. Didn't play a whole lot of last season, but doesn't he deserve some time on a highlight run? You know, he did play a little bit. Evidently, the Cowboys staff put together a highlight video that left Dak Prescott out. What does that tell us about the situation with his contract? We'll look at that, talk about streaking, and get a lot of Spurs talk as they get ready for the Golden State Warriors tonight here on the Blitz. So hang where you are on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Hope you had some kielbasa sausage on your grill yesterday for the big game. You know you're going to fire up the grill. You want the best sausage you can find. You want authentic sausage like you had in butcher shops back in the old days. Then you need to get yourself some kielbasa smoked sausage. And it's so good because of the way they make it there at Kielbasa. They make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then it is smoked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949 when he started the company here in San Antonio, and all their great products are still made here in town over there off South Brazos Street. Kielbasa is a great local San Antonio company on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you know you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you will ever eat. Michael Kielbasa guarantees it. If it's not the best, just call him. He'll give you your money back. He puts his phone number on the back of every package sold. Kielbasa sausage is now available at Walmart. And, of course, you can find Kielbasa sausage, bacon, chorizo, and breakfast links at an H-E-B near you. You're going to fire up the grill? Get some Kielbasa today.
ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing come together in our drive to end hunger. Brought to you in part by Quarter Moon Heating and AC, Roof Fix, and Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning. We have come together to support the San Antonio Food Bank. Give what you can at ESPNSA.com.
Thomas J. Henry has been named one of the best places to work in the nation for 2020 by Glassdoor. Start your career today at TJHLaw.com. That's TJHLaw.com. San Antonio, Texas.
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Hey, Matthew, we need to restock those sleeping bags.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
One of you cover this register?
Like at Anita's outdoor store. To keep sales climbing, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
We have finally turned the calendar into a new year, but if you still are rolling on those old brakes, you need to get them fixed. Jason Minnick's here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes. New Brakes is made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they will come to you. They'll come to your home, they'll come to your office, and fix your brakes while you continue to live your life. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes only uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews at nubrakes.com. If you know your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, do us all a favor and get them fixed. Schedule your appointment now at nubrakes.com, nubrakes.com. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. Go to nubrakes.com right now, nubrakes.com.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Connect with your favorite radio shows through contests, social media, and podcasts. Create custom alarms with your favorite radio stations, all free with the radio.com app.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
Every player matters, and finding the right person can make all of the difference. After Dwight Howard chose Orlando over New Jersey, the Nets turned their sights to Portland and completed a trade for small forward Gerald Williams. The trade included sending Mamadou Sean Williams and a first-round pick to Portland. That first-round pick, the 6th overall, turned into Damian Lillard. Lillard went on to win the Rookie of the Year and is a 5-time NBA All-Star.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
As the basketball season rolls along, teams are already identifying the missing pieces they need to make a championship run. If your business needs some fresh new talent, LinkedIn Jobs can help. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz here on ESPN San Antonio, and the Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson. His website is alawyer4us.com. The number you need to remember is 210-900-0400. Or go to his website again, alawyer4us.com. Call him as soon as you've been in an auto collision. Let him take care of the insurance companies. You need to take care of your family and yourself. All your first calls always confidential and free of charge. So I don't know what to make of this, Jason. The story comes out at Dallas Morning News, and it really this is one of those things that blows up on the blogosphere for those that are paying very much close attention to a team in the offseason. So the Cowboys PR department was tasked, evidently, of putting together a 30-second or so Dallas Cowboy highlight film of last season, and that's probably about all they could find, quite frankly, of offensive highlights. It was about 30 seconds. Well, when it was released, it was discovered that there were no Dak Prescott highlights there because I guess he's a free agent.
Well,
can we say that?
I mean,
No?
you know, okay. There's a couple of things here. The Cowboys released the day after the Super Bowl. The NFL season, off-season officially begins, right? Even though the Cowboys have been in their off-season forever. Reports over the weekend that Dak and the Cowboys still aren't close on a deal. They could have started talking the day after the Cowboys season ended, and they're not close to the deal. And what was the story yesterday? Cowboys aren't going to let them walk. They'll franchise tag him again if they have to. So here we go again with that kind of storyline. So this morning, the hype video gets dropped. Now, I don't know if, Thursday, Friday, some muckety-muck suit said, hey, we need to release a video on Monday. All right, let's put something together real quick. And it's got, it's hype for next year. The video starts with some scenes from the Super Bowl beating the Bills. There's Aikman and there's Emmett with the shoulder, and next season starts now is what it says. And it's hype video. It's 32 seconds. You got 10 seconds of Emmett and Troy, and you got some defensive guys and some offensive guys, and quite frankly, some dudes in this video that you've never heard of, special teamers, yet there's no Dak Prescott. Now, I also realize that a guy like Calvin Watkins with the Dallas Morning News or our good friend RJ Ochoa, bloggingtheboys.com, they're trying to create content on a daily basis. So, all right, cool, man. Cowboys release a hype video. We can write a story about this. Oh, wait, there's no Dak in this video. There's your story, because then we can write the story talking about Dak's not in the video, and they are apparently nowhere close on a new contract.
Well, the contract, 3 years in the making. Still not any closer. That's really the story. But the idea of leaving him out, the question really is, if you look at that and go, is Jerry and Steven, are they above or beneath, I guess would be the best way to put it. Are they beneath that? I mean, would they do something like that just to kind of toss it, to kind of maybe stir the pot and kind of heat up the negotiations again by releasing a hype video? Would you put it in the realm of possibilities that Jerry would do something like that?
No, because all that would do would piss off Dak Prescott. I mean, you wanna heat things up. You do a Dak Prescott love video, like we're ready for next year. I mean, you know, all that kind of stuff. Now, Derek Eagleton, who is the senior director of media and programming for the Cowboys and DallasCowboys.com, tweeted out, "This was simply an oversight that should have been caught and corrected by us. Anyone who's making it seem like the Cowboys decision makers use social media videos to make statements doesn't understand or take the time to understand how it all works. Trust me, there's no story here. I cannot imagine that Jerry even knew that there was a video that was going to get dropped on Monday. I can't imagine that Jerry or Steven or Mike McCarthy were aware that they were going to do that on social media. And certainly I don't think any of those three would have called Derek Eagleton and said, hey, We need a video done. You make sure you leave out that number 4 guy.
He's dead to us.
Yeah, wait, until he signs, because they're going to tag him. I just don't see that happening. I mean, DallasCowboys.com, one of the great things about DallasCowboys.com that it separates them from every other team website. You go to HoustonTexans.com, you go to Spurs.com, it's all fluff and positive extensions of the marketing department. DallasCowboys.com runs like a regular news outlet. As critical as guys like Mickey Spagnola and Nick Eatman are on the regular, Jerry lets those guys go be journalists. Now, the videos and the hype videos that they put on social media, certainly there, and they're doing exactly what they do, but I don't think that Jerry or anybody on the football ops side, hey, make sure we don't include number 4 in anything that we tweet out until he signs. No, I don't see it that way.
Well, it certainly doesn't look good.
No.
And I think above and beyond anything else, does it just kind of signify that kind of out of sight, out of mind going on around the star? I mean, how can you possibly put together a highlight? I don't care who you are. At some point, if you're pulling together highlights, you're looking at it the first couple of games of the season. There were some, record-breaking outings, and you failed to even go that far back.
Well, no, because there was one.
Is it more about game? Well, there is a quick clip. I'll give you that. In the grand scheme, that you're right. The Cowboys aren't beneath that, but it's not so. It's also not out of the realm of possibilities that there's a reason behind this 3-year unending negotiation where, quite frankly, the numbers and the years haven't changed. There's nothing. There has been no addition to the equation for years, yet they still don't have it. So when you look at it that way, you go, well, maybe this hype video might play a role here because nothing else is going right. I mean, there's something at play behind the scenes.
All this is doing is pissing off the Prescotts, right? And I say Prescotts because brother Tad tweeted out, quote tweeted
Tad.
And just had an emoji with the shaking your chin, going, what's going on here? No love for my brother. What's and again, it's social media. I mean, dude, for guys like us, we go, well, this is nonsense. Oh, you scrubbed Houston Texans off of everything on your social media, man. What does that mean? We see other people do that, but I don't know who made the video. I believe everybody that actually works for the Dallas Cowboys is somewhat of a football fan and knowledgeable of football, at least everybody that I have. Not everybody that helps out around TV stations and radio stations that are doing digital stuff are certainly fans of the game, but I do believe at the Cowboys they are. It was a bad mistake by whoever made the video and whoever approved the video before they hit send.
That's an oversight that needs to be corrected quickly. The NFL Hall of Fame, they corrected an oversight. It took an extra year, but they got it done. Drew Pearson finally, and well past due, announced on Saturday that he was joining the Hall of Fame, and he's going to join us tomorrow and reflect on finally getting in. We had John McClain on, Jason, on Thursday, and I was like, you got to tell me he's getting in, man. Yeah, he's the only nominee. If he doesn't get in now, it's personal.
Well, and last year or 2 years ago, we thought he was going to get in.
Yes.
He was all ready, the party, everything, and didn't get the call. And you talk about a year, I mean, what is it, 33 years now that he's been not in the Hall of Fame for a guy, the only player on the 70s all-decade team that isn't in the Hall of Fame. I mean, all of it was there just for him to get it. And last year when he was the only senior nominee and it kind of felt like a shoe-in, and we had him on then, and he even said, I mean, I'm at the 1 yard line, but I still got to cross that goal line. And I couldn't be happier for Drew Pearson to get the call in the way they did it. And with Roger and Jerry there in the building. And again, Drew Pearson, he's in the air right now. Otherwise, he'd be on the show today. But he'll be on tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the air. It's like flying back to Dallas. But, the way they did that video. And then for Drew, to have to apparently keep this a secret too, because I was reading how David Baker, the big dude from the Hall of Fame, over the last 2 weeks has traveled around, but everybody associated with signed the death-clad non-disclosure. You can't tweet it out until the NFL honor story, even though all those videos were done. But for Jerry and Roger to be there, and Roger's looking kind of old. But yeah, that was special. It was special to see, and the emotions from Drew Pearson.
Feels like a chapter finally closed. That era is finally done for a lot of us because a wrong was finally righted. Drew Pearson in, and of course the usual suspects, the ones we expected, got in as well.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Manning guy got in, but how about Coach Flores and Coors Light finally getting it done and getting in? And again, for Coach Flores, for Drew Pearson, who everybody assumes those guys are in, they're a little surprised when they find out they're not. I am just glad. I'm a big fan of do it while you're alive so they can enjoy the moment, no matter how late it takes. I'm glad that they're both alive to know that they finally made the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You know, the Super Bowl is, in fact, the entertainment to kind of sun that we orbit around all year. The advertisements and all that go along with it. We'll look at what went on outside of the game coming up. We had, of course, the mandatory streaker that no one got to see, but the call is spectacular. The commercials, the halftime, and all that led up to it. Let's look at the event that is the Super Bowl coming up next. We got lots of Spurs talk right after 5 o'clock. We'll look back at the Houston win. They take down the Rockets as they try to springboard into an important week in the season. Lots more Super Bowl talk, lots of Spurs talk, and you hang around. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. You know, the weekend Super Bowl Sunday is always chock full of those kind of things you look forward to having, the best kind of food on the best day of the year. And I hope you enjoyed all that was in front of you. You know, I did. I've been working with the Institute for Functional Health for a year and a half now. I changed my life. I changed the way I eat. And that doesn't mean I got boring. It just means I eat differently. I learned how and what to eat and how it manipulates and how it affects my body. That's the great thing about the Institute for Functional Health. And let's key on health. This is healthcare professionals taking care of you. Keep in mind, if you're on a weight loss plan that isn't made for you, your biology, your chemistry playing a role, then you're really not on the very best program, are you? That when I met Dr. Jacob Torres there at the IFH, he explained to me how important what I eat and how I eat played a role in my health. I'm not talking about just losing weight. I'm talking about everything that goes along with being and living a healthy lifestyle. And when you do it all right, that weight just seems to fall off. And you have to take into account the many other symptoms and situations that each one of us individually are dealing with. That's why a one-size-fits-all program does not work. I want you to call Dr. Torres and find out what I know. Here's the number, 210-468-1891. Go visit the website, the Institute for Functional Health.com. While you're there, nose around and take that functional health test. I promise you, it's an eye-opener. Your health is a combination of your genetics and all the things your body has been experienced over your lifetime. From the food they eat to the medicines that you've taken to your surroundings, you affect that. You do get healthy. Call Dr. Torres in the IFH today. Get on a program that will literally change your life, and I'm sure once you do, you'll thank me later.
Getting ready for the hangover without the headache. The Saturday Morning Hangover. James Pledger and Jack Thompson. Saturday mornings 9 to 11. 1250 ESPN San Antonio. 94.5 FM. And on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Rupo. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Rupo, located at 281 in Redmond Road. See you at the Rupo.
Howdy, Joel. It's rodeo time, and I've gone out and purchased new cowboy boots, new cowboy hat, and this Texas-sized belt buckle.
Good grief, Nigel.
I really want to take part in the rodeo this year. I may even enter the Paint Your Horse competition.
Nigel, it's a paint horse, and that buckle is the size of a hubcap.
So how do I look, Joel?
Ridiculous. Quarter Moon has a lot more in common with the rodeo than that belt buckle. Years of training, dedication to the job, and taking care of business day after day. Any house, any heater, any AC or plumbing issue, any time of the day. We fix it fast and we fix it right.
Maybe our guys should have big belt buckles too.
Nigel, are you sure you want to ride that mechanical bull?
I was born ready.
In Texas, we sit the other way around, Nigel. Hit it, boys.
Whoa. Whoa.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number M13229, TACLA 000743455E.
The belt buckle was a bad idea.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Good morning, privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. You seem to be in a good mood today. Astute observation.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
They're even shaped like hearts. So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Happy Heart Shapes are back for a limited time. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Here's the good news. Even with high unemployment, there's still a need for hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. right now. And My Computer Career is training people to help meet the demand. No IT experience? No problem. Take the free career evaluation today at mycomputercareer.edu. Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
It is the Blitz. How y'all doing? You want some political action? This should be a holiday. Just say it. Yes, it should. We've all offered lip service to the idea. It's time for things to change. Call your local rep. A lot of people feeling kind of bad today. In fact, Jason, you mentioned earlier as the lead into our show, there was a Pepto-Bismol commercial running about the appropriate time in the afternoon post Super Bowl day. And, you know, the day that is starts so early now and goes all day. We eat and drink constantly, and there are certain things that you expect. You know, you wonder if it'll happen. The mandatory or the obligatory, I guess, should say, streaker or attention getter is always one thing you hope to get. And of course, the Super Bowl's a magnet for those kind of things, and we got it again yesterday. I'm sure it had something to do with some sort of bizarre gambling site or something. I don't know, but dude runs out.
This guy was wearing enough to have an ad on his ass. I mean, you know, it's funny because you saw the streaker actually made the CBS broadcast as he crossed midfield, and then it was gone. And you know, it's like, well, I can't wait to hear Kevin Harlan's call on Westwood One. He has made a tradition out of calling as a radio play-by-play guy, you call the action as you see it unfolding on the field and then add in the right amount of pepper.
Second down, 20, 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a brawl. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle of the 40. Arms in the air and a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man. And the players with hands on hips at the other end of the field are looking at him and shaking their head and saying, why, oh, why is this taking place in a Super Bowl?
And Kevin, if you're going to run that far, get into the end zone. Don't slide at the 1. You got to score once you got on the field. Get into the end zone, my man.
Lord, now they're cuffing him. but pull up his drawers, whatever you do. 5:03 to go, timeout on the field.
Kurt Warner, Kevin Harlan, and I appreciate Kurt Warner going, don't slide at the one. Get into the end zone.
That.
Yeah.
Can't we just recognize that this is a goal of a certain segment of society, that they want to do this? At the beginning of every Olympics, they release pigeons or doves in the honor of safety and peace and harmony around the world. Why don't we just have at the beginning of the third quarter, just release the streakers? I mean, you want to run around on the just let them go from different sides. It would make for some good TV, and we could bring in all of our favorite play-by-play types so they could just pick one. I mean, it was about the most entertaining thing that happened last night. So we might as well to capitalize on it because it was kind of fun, and Harlan's pretty good at it.
He picked
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
I mean, he did have more rushing yards than the Kansas City Chiefs. But when you look at it, because this happens, it seems like every Super Bowl, somebody is going to do it and do something. I'm trying to remember where there was a Super Bowl, but Harlan's on the call for all of them. But even, the unexpected black cat in the Cowboys Giants game a couple of years ago, and the Kevin Harlan calls on those.
Well, if we expect it to happen, and this is the greatest security in the world. I would have liked to have thought that Raymond James Stadium was the most secure venue apart from our Pentagon and White House and wherever the missiles are stored. The Super Bowl should have been the safest. And yet again, a streaker hits the field. Well, now we just need to adopt a plan to where they get to do it every year. Just let them free the streakers. You buy time, like advertising time. It's $50, $100. We'll slather on some shoe polish on your wide, white ass. And you just run out there, run around, and if you gather enough attention.
So, in other words, what you're saying is it's something that the NFL would end up selling. You get your packages where you get your seats and maybe tickets to a party or in a suite. You get the streaker package. You get to go down on the field. A lot of games. You have post-game field passes or pre-game field passes where you can go down on the field. So this is jump the wall and run. Yeah. Well,
no, you're full of ad time. There's every space is sold. So you have, we're completely out of that first break after the third quarter. We're out of the last break after kickoff. But what we do have is, how about 15 seconds of bare ass running at the beginning of the third quarter? What we have is a package. We call it the streaker package, where we kind of set aside some time for your international and oddball kind of advertising.
To show off your package?
Or something like that. And at the beginning of the third quarter, we're going to fire the cannon off of that thing that's on the other side of Raymond James. And you streakers can just run around. Just run around. We'll get some content and we'll go to break. You'll get your words out if you hired the right streaker. Now you're going to have to bring in the right thing to draw the eye, but you do it right.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
You could get that. If I'm Victoria's Secret, just think of the possibilities that could have been had.
I'm with you. I think you're on to another bad idea.
It was the best thing about last night. Let's not kid ourselves. Literally, the most exciting play of the night was that. So why not capitalize on that and make another couple of pennies and let some of the other types advertise in a new
unless they're a Buccaneer fan. I mean, but you're right. That was a kind of a boring football game. I mean, I'm going to guess that somewhere around halftime you migrated to the kitchen and you never went back to the living room.
You had to watch the spots. You had to watch the commercials. I mean, there was that, but even those were mostly a letdown. We're certainly going to look at the length and breadth of the commercials and spots. But just off the top of your head, Jason, what was the best commercial that you left the game with remembering?
The M&M's commercial. I thought was pretty funny. There was another commercial. I forget what it was about, but I have no idea. So I don't remember.
McConaughey's 3D Doritos and Drake from State Farm.
The Drake State Farm.
Drake from State Farm. Sure. Yeah. If you're into Drake.
What do you think about Cowboy Bruce Springsteen?
I don't know. Was Bruce Springsteen in a commercial?
Wow. That Emma Tequila must have been really good. Part of the lore is the halftime. You did or the commercials, and you don't recall any of them. It doesn't say much for what we saw, and quite frankly, we didn't see much. halftime.
I remember the M&Ms when I laughed. There was a couple that the group at the house were like, "Oh, that was pretty good." What was it? And that was kind of the reaction. And and halftime was halftime.
Halftime was the weekend minus the E. How many of us sat in a place with somebody that went, I don't know, who's that?
All of us?
Did every household have one person go, well, who's that?
Jason was that person.
I was that person. But again, but I realized I knew two of his songs, not just one. I thought he was good, but it's Super Bowl. I think at Super Bowl you have to be great. But I also realized that the halftime performance isn't for me. Otherwise, it'd be Metallica or at least a band where everybody knows every song.
No, last year's was for you. Last year's was for the folk, if it were. It wasn't.
Who was last year?
What are you talking about?
Who was last year?
J-Lo, Shakira, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was
good.
Year.
This year was a little different.
I kept waiting for somebody to come out, but again, though, I thought the stage and the way he used the field and multi-use jock straps. I mean, I thought the halftime show was what it was.
I will give him an A for effort because the socially distant band on the checkerboard behind him. That's best you can come up with given the situation and scenario, and your dancing jock faces filling out the entire football field. I'm down. It was an A for effort. It's his voice, Jason. I think it would get lost in the music. I don't know how to describe it. He didn't have the kind of voice that translated over my TV. I bet if I was there live, I bet it was an awesome show. I mean, it was probably pretty cool. Hats off.
Yeah. No. I mean, but again, though, I thought it was mixed poorly too. I didn't appreciate the way the sound was and all that. So a lot of times when you're at those big concerts made for television in the stadium, the sound is even worse. So I don't know. Visually, it might have been cool to see, but the first part of it, I didn't know if it was actually at the stadium or was it videoed somewhere else and they were just rolling the tape until they came down on the field. I couldn't tell if they were graphically putting in that whole stadium part of it. But again, when you don't sell all those seats, you can put the band up there. Why not? They were creative with it. And again, I thought Timberlake was good a few years ago. Bruno Mars was good. Last year's was really good, although I don't know what they were singing, but visually it was fantastic. But again, for the Super Bowl, I want great. And I thought that was good, but I thought it was, going into it, I knew it wasn't going to be for me, not my cup of tea.
You mentioned something interesting, and I'm curious, would it have bothered you if it had been pre-recorded? Does it have to be live?
It wouldn't have bothered me in a COVID era. You're giving us something to entertain us during an extended halftime. So yeah, no, it doesn't. I wouldn't. I don't even know if everything we saw was live. I mean, when he was running through the mirrors like most of us were this morning trying to figure out where our coffee is, I don't know if that was live or not because he sure got down on the field pretty damn fast.
all I ask is entertain me. I don't care if it took you 3 months and it was all fake. I don't care if you Billy Vanilli did. It's halftime of the Super Bowl. Most of us are looking out of one eye anyway. You don't have to do that much. Yeah. Just keep me entertained and get me to 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock because it's already been a long day.
Grilling started around 10. That means beer started around 10. So, yeah, by the time you get to halftime,
if you went my route, you just turned to the drink. About halfway through the day, you just, turn to the drink. I'll just top that off with a whole bunch of different cream cheese-filled delights. I ate nothing but cream cheese yesterday, Jason. I managed to fit in an entire meal that involved cream cheese. I'm talking about your hors d'oeuvre, your primary protein, and your dessert. See, my Super Bowl plans were dashed at the last moment. So I had great complimentary items, but the main stuff I didn't get. So I ate a bunch of cream cheese. I had some buffalo chicken cream cheese, and then I followed that up with some wonderful pig shots that were full of cream cheese and cheese. And then for dessert, I had a cream cheese-filled cheesecake.
Cheesecake, perfect.
Yeah. The dairy in your body is a wonderful thing. 24 hours later,
you're going to be wonderful.
You eat a whole bunch of dairy. Man, you're fun to hang out with.
I bet.
Speaking of fun to hang out with,
you're in a room by yourself.
Jill Jelnick will join us at 6:30 as I'm appropriately socially distanced. We got a lot to talk about in the 5 o'clock. We'll look back at the Super Bowl. The run that the Bucs took is utterly outrageous. The quarterbacks that fell. Tyler Heineke made the list. We'll look at what happened with the Super Bowl. We'll look forward to the Spurs. Hang around. It's going to be fun. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Hi, I'm Andrea Vocab Sanderson, and I'm helping spread the words about COVID safety to keep our community healthy. Slow the spread until we find the cure. Keep it safe, baby, as a hope endures. It takes a clear and pure focus just to bring us through. We will come together, keep it practical and true. We keep it factual with you. Prevent, protect, provide. Look out for each other. Truth will be a guide. This is what it takes to restore our lives. Be a part of the solution and make a sacrifice. We each have the power to slow the spread. Please wear a mask, wash your hands, avoid large gatherings, and practice social distancing. Call 311 for support and resources related to COVID-19. Or visit covid19.sanantonio.gov. Remember, we're in this together.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Okay, we've got Rick here, a veteran in the league who's gone 0-2 the past Valentine's Days. Do you think he can pull off a win this year?
I always like an underdog, Bob, but I'm not sure about this guy.
He's passing aisle 3, picks up a bag of wings. He dodges the produce section.
But will he pick up the heart-shaped box?
Heading toward the candy aisle. He's picking up speed. Oh, no, he chokes and heads straight to the checkout.
Unbelievable. This close to Valentine's Day.
Don't be a Rick. Make happy this Valentine's Day with a heart-shaped box of Russell Stover chocolates.
This week at Macy's, use your coupon or Macy's card and get an extra 20% off just in time for Valentine's Day. Save on top of already great deals, like 35 to 55% off dazzling diamonds, gemstones, and more. And sleek handbags and wallets from Kipling, Nine West, Inc., and more top designers. Now 25% off. Plus, Star Money bonus days are going on now. Learn more at Macy's.com/Star Money. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Hey, this is Tyron Smith, Dallas Cowboy. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Where the pros play. KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. Happy Monday to you. I didn't fire off, but, I was easing into the next 2 hours. This is supposed to be a holiday. I'm in the lull, the afterglow of what was a remarkable football season and kind of a letdown of a Super Bowl. Though we do have a new champ and lots to talk about with Tom Brady. Get the Spurs tonight taking on the Golden State Warriors. We'll look there and look back at the Houston Rocket win on Saturday night. And certainly talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys and the lack thereof a Dak Prescott in a highlight video. But first, a couple things that kind of have you guys seen the story about Pedro Gomez, the ESPN baseball reporter, passing away suddenly? What awful news. I'm not sure about you, Jason. I never have worked with him, nor have I met him. But he's one of those guys, whenever you saw him on camera, had a glimmer in his eye. One of those, you could just tell this man loved what he was doing and did it very, very well. This just a shocking tragedy to all those that knew and appreciated Pedro Gomez.
It was. I've only met him a couple of times, and he has been on the show a couple of times. But it's there are some, I don't know. I mean, it's shocking because of his age, right? And you're the one that tells the story all the time that you crossed a certain birthday and you went from, oh no, to, well,
he made it this far. He hadn't made it this far yet. Yeah.
But again, though, I mean, there's been a couple in the media business recently, one of cancer, one of COVID, and apparently for Pedro, there was no nothing that thought that this could be. This was truly the surprise, like, oh my goodness, death, and one for as long as he's been at ESPN and the different things that he's done there, but just like everybody you talk to and, all the different tributes that are coming out, just everybody talking about what a likable guy he was. And, there are some in our business that can't be said about. And so, I mean, when you look at the tributes that are coming in, you just kind of hope that, when it's your time, you could say you lived a solid life when everybody in all different aspects of the business are saying those kind of things about you.
Pedro Gomez passing away suddenly, ESPN baseball reporter. And you mentioned Sekou Smith that had passed away just a couple of weeks back with cancer, a basketball reporter for ESPN and a variety of different teams, the Atlanta Hawks being primary there. The Spurs tonight get Golden State coming off, a DeMar DeRozan win, playing against a Houston Rocket team that James will be the first to tell you had been pretty hot. I mean, they had certainly been performing above expectations. John Wall and the likes are doing a lot. But the Spurs behind DeMar DeRozan with his 30 points put down Houston and start maybe putting together, what would you like to say, stacking wins and having every night being an individual performance based on what the Spurs do and not what the other guys do. Don't play to their level anymore. That's why you're riding up and down this roller coaster. And if you're going to play up to a good level, Golden State would be about appropriate because they're right there next to you in the rankings. You're going to be fighting these guys all season long. You might as well get one against them now.
Well, what was it? Didn't we just play them out at their building the other day and got run off the floor?
They smoked us.
That's the scary. Like I want to see this team make the progression. It's DeMar DeRozan is falling in, and he's been there. And I know we've had this conversation before, but you bring up the Houston game. Now, I was at my mother's on Saturday, and I was driving home. Didn't watch the game, read about it and whatnot. And it was one of those good DeMar DeRozan games, when you read about it and see the highlights. But I can't speak. I didn't see start to finish type of thing. But DeMar DeRozan more and more falls into the underappreciated category among Spurs fans. He's the first to get lit up and let's trade him and get rid of him. And then, oh my goodness, man, what an incredible game from DeMar DeRozan. You know what I mean? And again, I kind of go back to the Spurs need to do what they can to get him signed long-term because I think he is key to this team moving forward. And the more this season goes, the more I feel that way. Or if he ain't going to sign, you've got to trade him to get something in return. You can't just let him walk. But the appreciation for what DeMar DeRozan means to this basketball team isn't where it needs to be with Spurs fans.
You got to figure the more and longer he plays with the San Antonio Spurs, the more and more likely they are to make the playoffs. And you kind of have to make your decision. Well, is that what you want long term? And do you want DeMar to be a part of a playoff run this year and next? And it's going to cost you 3 years, probably about what he's getting paid now. I wouldn't imagine he gets a huge bonus, a huge bounce, but certainly is an all-star, and he's proving it on a regular basis that without him, the Spurs are definitely not a playoff team at this point. They sit in 5th place. A couple of wins always kind of bounces you. 13-10 on the year. They've won their last 2. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're 7-3 on the road and 6-7 at home. That's not good news. The Warriors arrive at 12-11, sitting at 8th place, 5-5 in their last 10, and losing their last one out. So this one looks like one that's set up to win, as Wiseman, their big post, who gave the Spurs fits, if not for just offense, but just for general athleticism. The last we saw them, he's out with a high ankle sprain. So some good news on that end, at least.
Well, it should make it a little bit easier, although the Spurs don't have their full guns. But you mentioned DeMar, an all-star. And I hope Spurs fans start retweeting and doing whatever they can to vote him in the all-star game that shouldn't be happening, but is going to happen. It is kind of crazy that he didn't make the top 10 in votes the other day. And again, you start talking about re-signing long-term, the underappreciation from Spurs fans And you wonder how much that factors into a decision on whether he stays or goes. I think he enjoys the team, and certainly he's needed for the Spurs to be that playoff team. But you wonder if outside of that locker room, when he's around the city or looking at the social media posts that so many fans just constantly blasting him, I wonder if he feels appreciated and wanted here in this city.
Well, there is the Kawhi kind of hangover with him, and no matter how good he does, he'll always inextricably be linked to that deal and the fall off from what we were. I will say this, though. I will eat my hat. Give me a challenge if he's not an all-star. He will be named an all-star. Now, sadly, it won't be by votes. There's just not enough Spurs fans that are active, but I cannot imagine an all-star world with DeMar doing what he's doing on a very regular basis, that at least one Spur, and it would be him that represents us. Yeah, he'll be an all-star, but sadly, not the way that you feel good about. You like to have your fans love you instead of your contemporaries pick you, which in my mind is actually the better pick. I'd rather guys that I play against tell everybody, I don't know what you know, but this guy needs to be here, and that's how he'll get in. I'm sure. Can you imagine a world where he doesn't get in?
I think he gets in because 4 or 5 players opt out.
Yeah,
and he's a replacement. Yeah. And that's not the way you want to get in either. He needs to get in on the first announcement of teams, whether it's fan vote or the contemporary vote, however all that works now. But I think he'll make it, though, as a replacement player.
The run included Tyler Heineke, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Pat Mahomes. Is it the greatest playoff run for a quarterback and a defense in NFL history? Your world champs are the Brady-led Tampa Bay Bucks. Let's look back on what was a dud of a game, but an absolute historic night. We'll talk about it next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. You don't have to be an athlete or have been doing something athletic to hurt yourself, because if you're hurt, you need to get yourself fixed. Now, not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa, he treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries, also does concussion baseline testing. They have telemedicine services available through OrthoConnect. There is no reason to be in pain. So if you're hurting, visit the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Start at their website, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
You follow your friends on Facebook and Twitter, so shouldn't you follow us? After all, I thought we were friends, aren't we? Never get left out. Follow us on Facebook at ESPN San Antonio, Twitter at ESPN_SA, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. The security system in my house is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, and other features are fantastic. Right now, get a free basic smart home security system for as low as $29.95 a month. Free installation, no money down, no activation fee, and no payments for the first 6 months on select home security system packages. Learn more at bsgtexas.com/radio. I love the security system in my home, and BSG installed the same system in my mother's house. Large, easy-to-use LCD screen, and the icons on the panel are the same as on the app. It's easy to use and gives you that great peace of mind. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They're the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222 or go to bsgtexas.com/radio.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Peak Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. On sale now for just $5.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune into Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Chrissy is refinancing her home, so she shopped around for the lowest rate and found it at Amerisave.com, setting her up for a lifetime of savings. It's one decision she'll never regret, unlike wearing tap shoes to a surprise party.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to find the perfect hiding place.
Pretty regrettable, Chrissy. Unlike finding that low mortgage rate at Amerisave.com that's got you on your way to a lifetime of savings. Amerisave's rates won't be this low forever, so go to Amerisave.com now. Lower mortgage rates mean higher savings. Call 866-514-SAVE or visit Amerisave.com/licensing for cost information, terms, and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all states except New York. NMLS number 1168.
Just unbelievable route by Antonio Brown, and what a job. Brady throws this ball down low in the way where no one can get it but him.
That's Jim Nantz and Tony Romo on yesterday's call. Super Bowl is done. We're going to talk a lot about the legend that is and will become Tom Brady. But before we do, we left talking San Antonio Spurs and DeMar DeRozan in a chase to get into the All-Star game. The man is singularly the best player on the Spurs team, has certainly become the most important and the best. He has supplanted, in my mind, LaMarcus as the best player this year, and his importance to the Spurs cannot be undervalued. But I'll tell you, getting into the All-Star game ain't going to be easy, Jason, because I don't think Spurs fans love him. You know, I think it's just because of that. Let's go to the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. Garrett dialed in at 656-3776-656-ESPN. You can too. Welcome on, Garrett. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? So just real quick, he's not going to get voted in because we just don't like him. His name is DeMar DeRozan for a reason. He never makes the fourth quarter shot. He misses every free throw in crunch time, it seems like. I mean, the other day against Houston, we all knew he was going to miss, and he did. He doesn't come through in the clutch, and we don't like him. His bobblehead 2 years ago at Christmas was a white elephant gift that nobody wanted. It's just sad. He's a good player, but we don't like him. He's just not that clutch.
Garrett, it's funny, and you're right. I'm with you there. End of the game, I don't want to see it in DeMar's hands. Let somebody else.
What
I want to see
Keldon
talking about. I want to see
Settle
Keldon
down.
with an opportunity. No,
Settle down.
I mean, and DeMar DeRozan is right up there with Danny Green's icy hot nickname, right? But I love DeMar DeRozan, and I think that's the difference. Is he's so underappreciated because when he does hit him, all right, that's what you're supposed to. But he does miss.
9 times out of 10, the
7.
reason they're even there is because of him.
Absolutely.
So if he takes and misses the shot, I don't feel that bad about it because there wouldn't have been a shot to take if it wasn't for him.
Is DeMar DeRozan? We just heard Tony Romo on that clip. DeMar DeRozan on a scale this, and bring it down, right? But he is Tony Romo in the sense of the fan base is split on the love-hate, and what you just said. 9 out of 10 times the reason the Cowboys were in position to win a game was because of Tony Romo's brilliance. And 9 of the 10 times they would lose the game was because of something Tony Romo did while trying to make a play that did not quite work out. And you split the fan base. You got people like me who was a Romo-sexual, still am. And then you got other people that would rather see Blaine Gabbert, who just won a Super Bowl ring, as your starting quarterback. Anybody but Romo, right? And I think DeMar DeRozan, just like Garrett said, I do think he just kind of boop, light bulb goes off. He's kind of the Spurs version of Tony Romo. Half the fans love him, half of them hate him. He's the reason you're in position to win, and then a lot of times he misses the shot that would have got you the W.
And I think, certainly you want to elongate your career, and certainly I think DeMar deserves to be in a situation like he left when he was traded from Toronto, almost there. Let's find a place that they're almost there, and maybe he can go get a ring after a long and illustrious career. But if he were to stay, Jason, we have to look at it like for what it is. This is an opportunity to get into the playoffs, and the Spurs sit at 5th, and you can see how volatile this is. They don't have to be great to be a mid-seed. I mean, they're not going to have to be all that good if they just beat the right teams at the right times. And we'll look forward to tonight at 6:30. This is one of those right teams you're going to have to beat. A team behind you, though, you expect with a win or two next will be right next to you in the ratings. We'll have Jelnick of Sports2Nite join us for Game Night San Antonio right at 6:30 in preparation for the game. Let's look at the Super Bowl and the run that Tampa Bay went on. It'll go untalked about. At least I hope it won't. The idea of the murderer's row of quarterbacks. Has any other team ever gone through 3 Hall of Famers in a run to the Super Bowl?
Without doing any research, I'm going to probably guess yes at some point. But there's very few teams that have gone on the road to win all the games and then gets to the Super Bowl. It just so happened that the Super Bowl was in their building. But I mean, you got Heineken on there to start things off with football team. Then you beat. Well, I mean, look, some high school somewhere is going to have him in the Hall of Fame. So you got that. I don't even know if he'll make his college Hall of Fame, but definitely his high school Hall of Fame. And the XFL Hall of Fame, right? Because he was the XFL one, right? And then
yes, he was.
Then you've got Drew Brees and Aaron. Yeah, that's an incredible run, and credit the defense too. And that's the one thing that not enough even today. Because you're talking about Tom Brady, and we talked about this with Sal Paolantonio on Friday. Tom Brady is going to be the story, win or lose. And the story last night was about that Buccaneers defense and the game plan they had, the amount of pressure they put on Patrick Mahomes. You got the 2 takeaways, and you kept the highest scoring offense in the history of football out of the end zone in the biggest game of the year. Yet Tom Brady is the story. He was your MVP. Could have been co-defensive MVPs like what the Cowboys had back with Randy White and Harvey Martin back in the day.
I would even, if they'd have come at the end of the game and said the MVP was Patrick Mahomes, I wouldn't have blinked. I mean, the fact of what we watched a losing quarterback do, and the numbers will never show it, but what we witnessed was brilliance on a level. Without him, they would have been the Dallas Cowboys in week 6.
Ben DiNucci time.
Without him, it would have been an avalanche. It would have been beating the likes of the Cowboys over Buffalo. One of those things that it was early, quick, and let's just get home because this thing is done. Because Mahomes was ridiculous in what he did. The numbers won't show it, but he outplayed Brady. But Brady didn't have to play great. All Brady had to do was function in the offense. 21 of 29, 3 touchdowns, right at the appropriate number of yards, and get to the fourth quarter and let those battering Rams just bleed the clock dry. It was a brilliant game that I do believe the best team certainly walked away, at least last night. I don't know if they played 7, how it'd work out if health was to play a role, but I have no doubt in my mind the best team in football won it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tom Brady and they were the I mean, it's freaking Tom Brady. Were they the best team all year? No. Did they hit their stride about the right time? Absolutely. Well, that's it. I mean, they weren't the dominant team. There were some games that they just looked bad, including the first time they played Kansas City. But again, though, the film study, the belief that they can win, which Tom Brady brought to Tampa Bay, it's an incredible run. And the way they were playing, especially on the defensive side, and against subpar offensive line. And every Dallas Cowboy fan understands what backup offensive line mean in the National Football League. Pledge said something earlier today that was kind of funny and appropriate. Patrick Mahomes now knows what it feels like to be Deshaun Watson, where you're just running for your life all the time. But, I think one of the topics this morning on Get Up or First Take, whichever show you put the TV on and it rolls in there, is do you think less of Patrick Mahomes after the performance last night? And I was like, no. I think my respect level and supermanness of Patrick Mahomes has gone up for what he did last night. The amount of scrambling from the word go, and you never saw him pointing at teammates for drop passes. You didn't see him getting on the offensive line for not getting blocks. I mean, Clyde almost got him killed by trying to get into a route and not pick up a blitzer. Patrick Mahomes is lucky he survived that night.
Did you see anything in the Todd Bowles defense that felt, in my mind, it felt like a box and one? That they went in with kind of a Greg Popovich idea back when he had to play Russell Westbrook at his best. Just let Russell be Russell, and everybody else you're not going to let beat. We're going to play deep, too deep safety, nobody ever behind us. We're going to bracket quick, and we're going to charge at him and ensure that anybody else can't beat us. And it kind of felt that way, that Patrick Mahomes was left to be a witch. He had the two greatest incompletions I've ever seen in a Super Bowl in a matter of seconds. Those were ridiculous plays. And, but for a quarter inch, they would have been there. The Buccaneers are your champs. What do you think? The Kielbasa Bacon phone lines are available to you. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. It is always a pleasure to welcome aboard Marion. You're on the Blitz, man. How's your day?
Oh, my day is beautiful. I've always called you guys over the years to talk about Spurs, but I'm born in St. Petersburg. I was born and raised. I'm a Tampa Bay native. So celebrating this Super Bowl as I did back in 2002 when I actually first moved here to San Antonio, kind of a bookend here. But I really think that the game, obviously, the defense deserves a lot of credit. And I think it kind of exposed Andy Reid a little bit. And as has been said, when you have those 2D safeties, you have to run them out of that coverage. And for some reason, they started to run the ball in the third quarter, and they stopped. And Andy Reid, for whatever reason, I know he's great, and he deserves all the credit, but he just has this aversion to sticking with the run. I think it was a run the ball a little bit more. That could have helped them get back in the game.
Marion, I think traditionally you are correct, but I think the issues on the offensive line were far greater than what the Chiefs thought they were going to be going in, and certainly the fans. And I think part of that, too, was not giving enough credit to that Bucs defensive line and how dominant and how good and how fast those guys are, that by playing with those safeties that you're talking about running out, if you're getting under pressure that fast, whatever you had drawn up is now scramble mode. And so you scramble left, everybody's going left, those safeties are going left. You never had that weird matchup with Hill on a linebacker, on a safety, or that underneath pass. That none of that was there because of the amount of pressure that was consistent. And I think what Todd Bowles did was said, all right, what we're going to do is we're not going to let Patrick Mahomes let these plays develop. And we're just going to bring pressure, have this, and again, if Mahomes found some of those guys, it could have been a devastating play defensively for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you saw the confidence against a subpar offensive line, against an incredible defensive line, saying, this is how we're going to roll the dice. And, man, it came up. It came up big for the Buccaneers.
Congratulations to Bucs fans. You forget that they had one. It just doesn't always feel like it actually did occur, even though it has been 18 years or so since it happened.
I mean, think about what that one Super Bowl did for John Gruden. Got him in the Monday Night Football forever, and now head coach of the Raiders. Because when you go look at John Gruden's overall coaching record, it ain't all that great. But people look at him as one of the greatest coaches because he was really good on TV for a long time for what he did with Tony Dungy's team.
And he still had the Raider playbook. He was still doing exactly what the Raiders were going to do, man. It was the perfect situation to take it home, and Gruden capitalized. So congratulations, and completely well done. Looking at the suspects for Tampa Bay, of course Gronk was going to catch 2 touchdowns. Of course Antonio Brown was going to play a role in this. There could have been no other outcome but that. With that, don't you come away with that knowing full well that Gronk was called in not for anything that had happened in the previous 19 weeks of football, but for just last night. That's why Gronk got paid, was for that. You just got to be ready for that. And I'll be damned if he wasn't there, and as smooth as always. Just one of the greats that will go, unnoticed, I think, in the glory of Tom Brady. But Gronk, again, was spectacular.
What do they got? The most touchdowns, wide receiver quarterback duo, and I mean, we go to that many of them. It is certainly there, but you're right. I mean, you look at Antonio Brown. Cancer in the locker room, weird dude, kicked out of Pittsburgh, kicked out of Oakland, kicked out of, did he get kicked out of New England? Whatever happened there with all the suspension. Yeah. But again, can catch touchdowns, and dude got himself a ring last night. Le'Veon Bell, again, another former disgruntled Steeler, was in the Super Bowl last night, although got a DNP for the Kansas City Chiefs. But it is kind of crazy when you look at all the players that were discarded that were playing in a Super Bowl last night. But everybody that scored last night, Leonard Fournette, all of them let go by their teams and brought into the Buccaneers after Tom Brady signed.
It feels so much like LeBron. I'm going to go down here and call my boys. And I'm going to time it so that my boys are available. Some by happenstance, some by just retirement and cost. And I'm going to put them in a situation and go win. You wonder who's next in the line of guys that can do that. That can just, I'm going to gather my boys, I'm going to go someplace, and we're going to win a title.
I mean, it's going to be, it's Tom Brady.
Is there anybody in the NFL that even begins to do that? Can Deshaun Watson say, I'm calling my boys, and we're going to go win a title? Can he? I'm not sure if anybody in the league other than Tom Brady has the happenstance and the ability to do that.
Well, outside of Gronk, Fournette, disgruntled in Jacksonville, they cut him, and Tampa Bay picked him up. Antonio Brown, I wonder if they didn't used to be roommates in New England, if he would have been a Buccaneer. But Gronk, that's going places. I'm coming here, you're coming out of retirement. Let's go do this down there in Florida.
There was never any doubt when Brady arrived in Tampa that it would be Antonio Brown and Gronk. Was there? Did anybody doubt the fact that those guys would show up and be right on time, on target when they absolutely had to be there? The two champions, the ones that know how to do it, and they again got it done. Now, a lot played into it. We had Sal Powell on last Friday. If you missed any of that, go to the audio vault brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. As he talked about coming into this game, this is an over-officious group. They like to throw the flags, and sadly, the Kansas City Chiefs defensive backs took the brunt of that. Some were right. Others weren't, but they certainly did play a role, whether we appreciate it or not. I don't like let them play. I don't like that to let them foul. But I do like an evenly called game, and I'm not sure we got that early. Let's be realistic. There's a couple that you go, really? In the Super Bowl, you're going to throw that flag? But I'm also the type that I hate let them play. I don't let the rules are the rules, whatever those are.
I think the Honey Badger one in the end zone, bad, because I don't think that was a catchable pass. Where the Honey Badger had an interception taken away, that was the right call. The one on Evans down the sideline, feet got tangled. We'll never know if it was catchable or not, but generally feet get tangled doesn't draw a flag. But we knew this officiating crew throws a lot, and the Buccaneers on the season very good at baiting teams in to pass interference penalties. Especially late in the half.
Effect, Brady effect on the officials. We'll look at that. We'll also look at the entertainment part of the game. What'd you think of the weekend and the guys wearing jocks and dancing around on the field? Hang around. Let's look back on the spectacle that is the Super Bowl. We also got lots of Spurs talk headed your direction. Real quick, we're almost to the holiday that you need to be prepared for. That is Valentine's Day, and we want to take care of you. Cash for Couples is happening right now. What's better than winning free cash? Well, we're giving away $500 to 2 lucky couples to treat themselves this February. Want to treat your significant other this weekend with a nice date? Well, ESPN San Antonio is giving away $500 to 2 couples. It's easy. Go to ESPNSA.com to get yourself a chance to win. It's presented to you by New Breaks Mobile Brake Repair. Get all the details at ESPNSA.com.
Game nights.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. The best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 to get you out fast. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. You're down at the coast, you're down in the valley, up in Dallas, anywhere in between. AA Best Bail Bonds, license number 149. Call them 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, available at HEB.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Root Home. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Root Home, located at 281 in Redland Road. See you at the Root.
Hey, this is TV personality Eric Bowling with
NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre.
Get out. The NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre.
Yeah, it depends on if you want money or not, or if I owe you.
Well, okay, I'll take it. We're coming together for a new weekly podcast called Bowling with Favre. From sports to politics to finance, culture, nothing is off limits.
Sounds like a little bit of everything. Subscribe now on the Podcast One app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, livebylive.com, and everywhere you get your favorite podcasts.
See you then.
Finding the perfect romantic gift you'll love is easy at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's. With an expanded selection of designer jewelry and our best offer ever, 5 years, 0 interest financing. Your love is always our passion at Diamonds Direct, but especially on Valentine's Day. So we're holding nothing back. Pick any item, get our best value price, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest financing. Diamond stud earrings, diamond eternity bands, layered necklaces, pendants, bangles, colored gemstones, and of course the largest selection of diamonds and engagement rings in America. As part of the big Valentine's celebration, this entire weekend, Diamonds Direct is featuring world-renowned designer Simon G. See an expanded selection of Simon G creations, including some new items never seen before, perfect for Valentine's. Our showcases are packed for the big day, and with 5 years 0 interest financing, everything's affordable. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Open Sunday noon to 5. Happy Valentine's Day from Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
The excitement of Mardi Gras is now in South Texas. Grab your beads and celebrate this February at SeaWorld San Antonio. Feel that French Quarter spirit with live music, dancing, and costumes. And get a taste of New Orleans with Creole and Cajun food favorites. Indulge in the flavor and fun that only Mardi Gras can bring. Let the good times roll. February 6th through the 28th, only at SeaWorld. Reserve your visit today and keep the fun going year-round with a pass. Visit SeaWorldSanAntonio.com.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
Every player matters, and finding the right person can make all of the difference. After Dwight Howard chose Orlando over New Jersey, the Nets turned their sights to Portland and completed a trade for small forward Gerald Williams. The trade included sending Mamadou Sean Williams and a first-round pick to Portland. That first-round pick, the 6th overall, turned into Damian Lillard. Lillard went on to win the Rookie of the Year and is a 5-time NBA All-Star.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
As the basketball season rolls along, teams are already identifying the missing pieces they need to make a championship run. If your business needs some fresh new talent, LinkedIn Jobs can help. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com. Hope everybody's having a fine post of Super Bowl hangover. Hope you are enjoying that queasiness and a little bit of a headache, that kind of foggy feeling you had all day long, that intense
How you feeling, Rob?
thirst. that slight taste of Pedialyte right on the
Are you
back
okay?
of your cheek. I'm just saying, there's a lot of people kind of right there with me.
No,
The ones that have, if at some point
It's
today
just
you
you.
actually chewed up a dry Tylenol, you understand that today should in fact be a holiday. You ever see those guys that can chew up an aspirin or a Tylenol or an Advil? That's like drinking scotch to me. That's a man move. You can chew down a Tylenol. You can drink a quart of gas.
But hair on your chest, Rob. Yeah,
Oh,
you don't want to do that.
My dad could just chew on Tylenol, man. That is a strange thing to be able to do. I don't know where we got that, but
Because the referees last night were giving you a headache.
But we have that here. And the reffing, we knew what. I found it odd that the NFL picked the most officious crew they could find. It wasn't a badly called game. I don't want to take away from the game itself, but it felt a little bit like a basketball game. Early on, the officials let it be known that there are certain things that the Chiefs thought they could do, they were not going to be allowed to do. And they made it with several different calls, the holding in specific. The refs obviously saw that ahead of time and say, hey, these guys hold. So if I see it, we're going to call it until they can't. Well, they took the Chiefs out of their game. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It did, in fact, change. And that Tyrann Mathieu, it was close. It was iffy. I'm not sure if it was right or wrong, but I do know it changed the face of the game. The
11 penalties.
played a huge role.
11 for 120 on the Chiefs, 4 for 39 on the Buccaneers. So, again, though, I look at the pass interference penalties, and Tampa Bay does that well. They draw a lot. What was the stat Sal Powell gave us on Friday? If pass interference penalty yards was a receiver, it'd be the sixth leading receiver on Tampa Bay, and that added to it. I thought the one on Evans was the one I thought, man, that's BS. Their feet got tangled. The one in the end zone didn't look catchable, but it was interference. The holding penalty that took away the Matthew interception, that was defensive holding. The dude got grabbed in the nuts. I mean, that's holding, right?
Yes, it is.
You throw the flag there. But man, that penalty, key moment in the second quarter, could have changed the game. If Kansas City gets the ball there and Tampa Bay doesn't score, who knows? So I mean, there was some that I thought I thought the offensive line should have got called for a lot more than what they did for Kansas City, which surprised me looking at the referee. That there was a huge when Ndamukong Suh punched Patrick Mahomes in the face when he was getting sacked. There was no penalty there, and so there were some times where you thought, man, that little home cooking. There was one play that ran with 10 seconds left, and after the play was over, there were still 10 seconds on the clock. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, Mahomes was upset too. Did you feel like Tampa had any kind of home field advantage?
Not really.
There was really only one instance. I don't think they had a home field advantage, but I did notice at the beginning of the third quarter when Kansas City had to come out and make a move, do something to make you feel good about yourself and get yourself some points, And they throw it out to Tyreek Hill, and he slips. He tried to make that cut and down right after the halftime performance where the grass was kind of slick. And then we saw Kelsey try to make a plant and cut, and he went down. I think there was a little bit of home field advantage there because I didn't see too many Tampa guys slipping. I think they knew the turf, and Kansas City flew in the day before, didn't get a chance to see the turf. I'm not saying it was a huge benefit, but that was a time if Tyreek stands up and doesn't go down, and if Travis Kelce doesn't slip at the beginning of that route, maybe something happens. But that was about as close as I could get to feeling good about, other than sleeping in your own bed, about having a home field advantage.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. And even then, I mean, after the halftime performance, do they know, hey, we need to change our shoes, or, what was going on other than the field at that particular moment? When you had all those
when you're at home, when you're at home, your field, like where one sprinkler might leave a little bit more water. And I'm telling you, you play on your home basketball court, even though it looks the same and it feels the same from any other court, there are certain things you just know where the drafts are, where water tends to condense or something like that. So while it might have felt even, that was the only thing that I actually saw, but it didn't play a role in the game.
No, I really don't think that there was this major home field advantage. It wasn't like, all right, well, the sun is setting and we know we can't run these particular plays at this particular time. Like, the Cowboys know after the time change, and if they've got a 3:25 kickoff, that you want the toss to go a certain way, so you're not going into that window. It's like Jerry could put up drapes, but he doesn't. And if they are going in there, they know there's certain plays they just cannot run with that afternoon sun. But I don't know that any of that factored in to the Super Bowl last night. And the crowd wasn't big enough anyway. What I saw, some weird stat, like 78% of the attendance was cheering for Tampa Bay, but it's so corporate and expensive. It's really hard to get those tickets anyway.
Did you find it funny that as the game, as they prepared for the kickoff and they're spanning the crowd and suddenly Twitter goes crazy? Look at all the people. There's way too many people there. And you go, those are cutouts, man. This place is pretty close.
We've been drinking since noon. I mean,
they sold this game out. There's like 100,000 people in Raymond James Stadium.
Dude, it's Florida, man.
3/4 of them aren't moving. A lot of them look like Will McConaughey in a Doritos commercial, but they're there. It's not fair.
Old people in Florida, they ain't moving fast anyway. It's all
Who's
good.
Will McConaughey?
Did I say Will McConaughey?
I was gonna let it go.
You ever seen Will? He's Matthew's stand-in. He's
a little flat.
A lot thinner. He's flatter. He's Matthew's Will McConaughey. All
right.
Americanized chicken.
All right. Let's talk about what we saw entertainment-wise outside of the game. The commercials were, they tried to uplift and unify, and I'm not sure if they did that. Did they make you laugh? Did you see anything there? And what did you think of the weekend? We'll look at the entertainment side of the Super Bowl. Don't forget at 6:30, we're looking at the Spurs Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Golden State Warriors on the docket. Jelnick of Sports2Nite will join us as we look forward to the game. Hold on, coming back. What'd you enjoy outside of the game for those one-timers, those once-a-year football fans? Did they get what they were after? We'll talk about it next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If your water tastes bad or has an odd smell, you need to call my friends over at Alamo Water Softeners. They'll come out to your house, test your water, give you a free estimate. Jason Minix here. In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Having a water softener is not a luxury item. It is a necessity. And right now, you can save $300 on select water care water softeners. I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners in my house for years. Wouldn't live without one. Not only will you get great tasting water, but you're going to save money because an Alamo water softener can extend the life of your appliances and your plumbing. On the Nextdoor app, Alamo Water Softeners was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. Alamo Water Softeners is the best value for the highest quality water treatment. So discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference and take $300 off select water care water softeners. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Show us your meat. On the grill. Take a picture and upload it to ESPNSA.com, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
O'Reilly. Need new wiper blades? Not sure which ones to buy? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. We'll show you options for your specific car and even install them for free. Right now, save $10 per pair on Bosch Focus wiper blades, plus earn double O-Rewards points. There's no better time to replace your wiper blades. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
You're a weekend do-it-yourselfer who likes to tackle the big jobs, tree removal, digging, hauling, or cleaning up a job site. For those big jobs, you need big equipment, and at Ewald Kubota, renting equipment is a breeze. Dependable Kubota construction equipment, tractors, zero-turn mowers, or utility vehicles. Get it done right and get it done fast. Right now, all new rental customers get a 10% discount off their first rental. This is the Ewald Kubota way of saying welcome. For a store near you, visit ewaldkubota.com.
In every relationship, there's a short list of forgivable offenses, but missing the most romantic day of the year isn't one of them. Valentine's is here, so don't wait. Head to 1-800-Flowers.com today. Right now, 1-800-Flowers has a last-minute offer for our listeners. Get 24 multicolored roses for $34.99 or upgrade to 24 red roses for $10 more. All roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak, cared for every step of the way, and shipped fresh to ensure lasting beauty. Order now and get 24 multicolored roses for $34.99 or upgrade to 24 red roses for $10 more. Get right to the romance this Valentine's and find a way to wow with 1-800-Flowers.com. To order 24 multicolored roses for $34.99 or upgrade to 24 red roses for only $10 more, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code BART. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code BART. Hurry! Offer expires Wednesday.
Hey, it's the Blitz. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you all the way home on a day after the Super Bowl kind of day. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. What's up, Jason?
Instead of talking about the weekend, Saturday I was at my mom's. I didn't get to see anything, but I'm seeing on SportsCenter right now, tonight's North Carolina-Miami game has been postponed because of COVID protocols. So North Carolina beat Duke, and their fans celebrated like they won a championship, and now they're canceling games. Is that the way I understand this? I mean, the video, they're at the university down there on the streets. It looks like Mardi Gras or something. Did they really celebrate a win over Duke like that? Now they're having to cancel games?
That's the rivalry, man. But yeah, it's a super spreader. Hey, it was a hell of a game. 91-87. I mean, hard fought to the bitter end. North Carolina desperately needing the win. Duke, those privileged elitist Dukies going down to the everyday working man North Carolina, the blood and guts. Man, I don't know. Yeah, but that's what happens. You got to get out there. You get out there and get sick.
Good Lord.
Why do we hate Norway? I don't understand why Will Ferrell wants me to hate Norway so much. Is it because they have better electric stuff than we do? That was one of the commercials that I quite frankly didn't want, because he made this movie about like some kind of European singing competition where he was like a Swedish singer or something like that. And now,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Now he's dogging Norway. I thought there was something deeper to that, but evidently it's just
because they don't watch football, so they weren't going to see it.
We hate the Norwegians. Bastards.
Sure.
Any commercial that when it was done that
was a General Motors commercial, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was. I think they've committed to being a completely electric fleet by 2035 or something crazy.
Sure.
Any other spot jump out at you? What about Drake? And by the way, can we say that the insurance dude is completely yoked? The State Farm dude is completely jacked now.
He's been.
Sure. I mean, he always has been. It's because he gives the butcher great rates and gets all those extra steaks, man. So he's getting plenty of protein for his workouts, and he's got to if he's going to keep playing golf with Aaron Rodgers. The M&M commercial I thought was funny. The DoorDash with the Cookie Monster I thought was pretty good. And, you know, if you've got a college kid, say, living in your house during a pandemic and all of a sudden, you know, people are showing up at the house with food, you can kind of relate to that DoorDash commercial. So, yeah, I could see, you know, there's not many that I know that would DoorDash a milkshake at 3 a.m., but somehow it happens.
That dude, the guy that started that, what's his name? Daveed Diggs?
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
You're not watching the game right. You're supposed to be paying attention to what's going on between the snaps too, man. That's the whole conglomeration of what the Super Bowl is. What'd you think of Bruce Springsteen driving an old Jeep going to evidently a church in the middle of Kansas, which is the middle of our country, riding in an open top Jeep when it's 2 degrees?
Oh yeah, that was the one where we went, that's a Jeep commercial?
It was
sure. I don't remember that one, but yeah.
It was a unique perspective that has been either torn apart for its divisiveness or applauded for its unifying abilities. I don't know which way to take it on that. What did you think about the Toyota commercial with the adoption of the Paralympian, the swimmer? See, I could just make up commercials now and you just wouldn't have any idea.
I saw them all except for the ones I didn't. I was doing a lot of cooking last night and in and out. But yeah, no.
You don't have to make excuses for us. You don't have to make excuses for us. We understand. We understand that, by the time you're ready
I am
to go,
there for the football. If you want the commercial segment, you got to wait till my wife gets home because she'll give you the rundown. She pays attention to the commercials. I'm going to the cooler to get more beers during the commercials.
I like the Will McConaughey one.
The Will one was good, but when Matt decides to do things, he steps in and just nails it. The skinny Matthew McConaughey inside of a Doritos box. I've had that dream. Did you like the weekend? Did you like the weekend's performance?
No. I mean, no.
Is there anything you liked? Is there anything happened yesterday that you enjoyed?
No. I thought the flyover with the Bombers was pretty badass. No, the weekend was good. I just think it's Super Bowl. You got to be great. Even if it's some artist that I'm not familiar with, wow me. He did not wow me. The going through the little maze thing and all the dudes with jock straps on their face, impressive using up the entire field, but he didn't wow me. It was all right. It was good. It wasn't great.
I understand that the weekend isn't a really nice guy. I've been told through those that follow this type of thing that people in the industry don't really like him.
Really?
That, it wasn't that surprising that he didn't bring somebody on, as is tradition. You have the star, and then suddenly you bring somebody on. There's always a tandem. Like last year, we knew that Shakira and J-Lo were going to do it, but we got the tandem. This year, he didn't even invite anybody. Not that anybody wanted to do it, but
is that his call, or was that Pepsi not wanting to pay an extra performer?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I just know it does seem to be a bit of a tradition that you have somebody extra, somebody that shows up that's a surprise. Like when Beyonce jumped on there with what's the name of that band that has all the hits that no one knows their name, and Beyonce outshowed them, and that they were the rumor mill, those that follow this kind of stuff, the entertainment TV.
See that right? Networks. Shouldn't the rumor mill have been there with the weekend?
Well, they didn't really let us know why there's not.
Rumor mill should be the name of the next boy band.
Well, they're just saying that the weekend didn't want to be shown up, that he didn't want to invite somebody else that would have gathered more talk.
I could see that because Lord knows he needed it. I kept waiting for, there was one at the party that kept thinking Rihanna was going to jump out there on stage, and I guess they've done stuff before, but Rihanna could have made that better. I was kind of hoping for Dave Grohl since they just dropped a new record, and Foo Fighters has been all over the place. I mean, give me something different,
No, you want exactly the same. See, the weekend is different for you. You just wanted the same. You went back to your safe spot with Dave Grohl, and we were looking for the weekend to throw something at us. Maybe some we had Bad Bunny last year. I don't know.
Drake.
Just trying to. Could have been. Well, Drake was too busy lifting
Drake
weights
was all
with
over that Super Bowl. Yeah,
with the State Farm guys getting yoked. When we come back, Dak Prescott hasn't signed a contract, and he doesn't get to be in the hype video. Why, we ask you? There was a 30-second video released today, and Dak did not perform and offer us one single highlight. Was that a mistake, or was that a planned slight by Jones and the boys? We'll talk about that. Look at the Super Bowl and get ready for a Spurs game coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minnick's here for BSG, the best in home security and smart home technology. BSG is a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. BSG is the best when it comes to home security, camera systems, Wi-Fi systems, home theater, audio and video systems, and so much more. In fact, the security system at my house is from BSG, along with my home theater system. They did the surround sound speakers, outdoor speakers, other smart home technology like my thermostat, outdoor lights, garage door opener. And what's very cool, it all works on one app. It's easy to use. BSG is all about customer service you won't get from a big box store. Every room in every house is different. So BSG will design systems that fit your home, and they only sell high quality items. So if you're investing in your house, you want a company you can trust, a company that has a great reputation. That is BSG. They've been in business in San Antonio over 20 years. Go read all their great 5-star reviews. In fact, they've been trusted, or they are trusted by over 100 new home builders. They're the best in the industry. Call BSG at 210-877-1222, 877-1222, or go to their website, bsgtexas.com/radio.
Love the Blitz? Well, why not watch along and interact with the guys every weekday from 4 to 7? You can watch the show live every day at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Just search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe. Comment along with the show and see your comment on the screen. Another reason to keep it locked to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
This week at Macy's, use your coupon or Macy's card and get an extra 20% off just in time for Valentine's Day. Save on top of already great deals like 35 to 55% off dazzling diamonds, gemstones, and more. And sleek handbags and wallets from Kipling, Nine West, Inc., and more top designers. Now 25% off. Plus, Star Money bonus days are going on now. Learn more at Macy's.com/Star Money. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Progressive Motorcycle presents Road Wisdom from the Motor. Half Man. To find your balance, keep riding. And if you stop, put your feet down so you don't fall. Progressive Motorcycle also presents Roadside Assistance. Progressive Motorcycle for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Sean Lee of the Dallas Cowboys. You're listening to 1250 ESPN San Antonio.
And 94.5 FM, where the pros play. KCTC San Antonio.
For everything Cowboys.
Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. I see Rob. He's either lost track of time or has completely checked out for one reason or another. What's going on with Rob?
Oh, he blew a fuse.
Like angry at something and just stopped, or at his house? So he's lost his internet. Is that what's going on?
I don't know if he like plugged something in and blew up everything that sits in front of him, because I did see a flash of light at one point. Or if he got mad, or if maybe Lola, got some water on some stuff.
I guess it's all possible. And if you blow a fuse and all the equipment has to reboot, I see him sitting there and he's looking at us like he's ready to jump in. But, we will carry on without him, much like the Dallas Cowboys had to do this past year without Dak Prescott. So you look at the Dallas Cowboys as Super Bowl ending yesterday. The Cowboys today dropped a hype video for next season, because all the hard work starts here in the offseason. And this 32-second video does not include one image of Dak Prescott, your franchise quarterback. Oversight? That's what the Cowboys say. Or is it? What do you guys think? 656-ESPN, 656-3776, or on Twitter at Rob Thompson ESPN. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. It's interesting because when I first saw this buzzing this morning, I thought, well, this is stupid. I mean, clearly Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore, nobody called the video department with the Cowboys and say, hey, drop a hype video day after the Super Bowl. Put it together with our good highlights. Just make sure number 4 isn't in there. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. But I don't understand whoever's putting that thing together can get in Jalen, get in Zeke, get in the stars that are supposed to be there, including some dude on special teams that had about 35 snaps for the entire year. It starts with Troy Aikman winning a Super Bowl. There's some Emmitt Smith that's a part of this video, but you don't think to include your current quarterback? That's an editing issue. That has nothing to do with the Cowboys. In fact, Derek Eagleton, who is basically the boss man in charge of all the Dallas Cowboys media, tweeted out, this was simply an oversight that should have been caught and corrected by us. Anyone who's making it seem like the Cowboys decision makers use social media videos to make statements doesn't understand or take the time to understand how it all works. Trust me, there's no story here. But there is a story there because the Cowboys do put it out, and there are Cowboy beat writers who have to write a story no matter what every day on something that's there, and it gives you a story to say, what's up with the Cowboys? How do they put a video out and not include their quarterback? It seems ridiculous, but there might be something to it, because even Dak Prescott's brother quote tweeted it with the emoji where he's scratching his chin. I hope that's something that doesn't piss off at Dak Prescott. I hope he has thicker skin. It's dumb on the part of the Dallas Cowboys media department, who's generally very good at what they do, but I don't think it was done intentionally, and I would be shocked if anybody on the football operations side even knew a video was going to get dropped, let alone had any influence on who should or should not be a part of that video.
Dude, it's been 3 years, and welcome back, by the way. It has been 3 years of negotiations. Blew a fuse over at the Thompson Casa. Everything else went dark. I know that if this was any other organization and this was any other circumstance, you'd go, yeah, that is a human error. They were just in a hurry. He hadn't played in a while. The stacks of highlights were there, and they grabbed the easiest ones to get, and they put out a 30-second video. But this has been 3 years, ongoing negotiations. And we sit today with both sides pretty firmly ensconced in their position that Dak wants X number of years first, dollars second. Where the other side of that is Jerry doesn't want to deal with a short-term deal. We want longer, and dollars are second. So we're dealing with time more than we are money. And how do you negotiate time? I mean, it's one or the other. You can't meet halfway.
Well, it is interesting.
So I can put it. Go ahead.
It's interesting that over the weekend there were stories on NFL Network and on ESPN talking about how the Cowboys are still very far apart in their negotiations. We joked the other day, a week ago, that it would be very Jerry-like to announce the signing of Dak Prescott to steal some headlines over Super Bowl weekend, and that would make sense. The fact that they're far apart, does that tell me at the very least that there's some negotiations there? Because the reports today are, if they need to, they will tag him again. Dak isn't going anywhere. He's not going to be a part of this free agent quarterback class where there's a lot of quarterbacks on the move. You've got Carson Wentz trade talks going on, Sam Darnold trade talks going on, and the Cowboys are telling you Dak Prescott isn't going anywhere. If we have to, we will tag him again, which, by the way, would be very, very dumb of the Dallas Cowboys. It's dumb enough of the Dallas Cowboys that they still don't have him signed to a long-term contract. But getting left out of a hype video, dumb. If the Houston Texans put out a hype video and Deshaun wasn't included, the outrage would certainly be understandable. And you could say, well, yeah. I mean, why would they put Deshaun in a hype video right now? Because that dude doesn't want to be there. But that would also debunk all the articles.
Are you implying?
Am I implying
that Jack Easterby works for the PR department for the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm saying it's
Are you implying that Jack Easterby's tentacles have reached all the way to the star, and now he's spoiling another quarterback team relationship?
It's only quarterbacks that wear number 4, Rob. I mean, that's it.
Well, Jack Easterby once again raises his ugly head and turns a team and a quarterback against each other. Tom Brady has reached a level of sporting greatness, the likes of which have either never been seen or rarely been seen. He's an old man and he continues to win. Who do you compare him to? Do we look at the likes of George Foreman? What was he, 43 when he Frankensteined his way to a WBA or whatever heavyweight championship? I mean, is there literally anybody else out there that we can even begin to compare Tom Brady to or look at the greatness? Otto Graham. If Otto Graham for $100. Now, we're all going to go to the Googles and see what Otto Graham looked like. And when you go, for those of you of an age, yeah, he looks a lot older than Tom Brady. The argument might actually be there. We'll talk about it coming up. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're having issues at the house with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, there's one company to call, and that is Quarter Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 is the phone number, 651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are experts at worst case scenarios. And let's face it, if you're calling them, at least in your world, it is worst case. Full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked. They have all the equipment to fix any job, from a leak in your faucet to a leak in your slab. At Quarter Moon, no commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
Hey, we're both working toward a common goal. Quitting time! This is San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Your child deserves to be in the very best hands. The South Texas Early Childhood Experts at the Brighton Center are some of the most capable hands of all, earning us the Nonprofit of the Year award. The team delivers the best childhood education, therapy, and support in the San Antonio area, catering to your child's specific needs. We prepare children for kindergarten and the rest of their lives, because children aren't our job, they're our passion. Brighton Center. The right help at the right time can change a life. Visit brightonsa.org to learn more.
When it comes to getting work done on your property, get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota compact construction equipment like excavators, skid loaders, and track loaders. At Ewald Kubota, we have all the equipment you need, whether you're buying or renting. And we know you need the reliable, dependable equipment Kubota is known for. Right now, all new rental customers get 10% off their first rental. This is our way of saying welcome to your neighborhood Ewald Kubota dealership. For more information, visit ewaldkubota.com.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S. all free.
With the radio.com app.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Joel, co-founder of the company behind Super Beats. I'm excited to share with you our newest product, Super Beats Heart Chews, which includes clinically researched grapeseed extract, shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone.
Get a free 30-day supply of Super Beats Chews, plus a free 30-day supply of Super Grapes with your first purchase when you shop at getsuperbeats.com/sky. That's getsuperbeats.com/sky.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing discount drive-bys and mile-wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Second down, 20, 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a brawl. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle of the 40. Arms in the air in a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
That was the legend of the great Kevin Harlan on the Westwood One broadcast of the Super Bowl. He slid in at the 1, obviously not from around here, and I would have never gone with pink. I would have gone with a more tasteful, I don't know, maybe a darker color, something that didn't really, emphasize his wide, white ass. But
you would have gone fluorescent
choices
yellow.
are individual. Maybe, but I don't think I would have gone with the gauche pink. If you're trying to make a name for yourself, be tasteful.
Well, and again, we celebrate the entertaining call that Kevin Harlan offered us up last night on Westwood One Radio. And leave it to family to be honest in your critique, because they're the ones that generally are going to be the most honest with you. His daughter, Olivia, tweeted out, upon further review, I think someone needs to tell my dad what a bra is. And this just became my weirdest tweet.
When you watch the replay, obviously, they cut away. So he didn't have the direct camera to look at. So he's looking at it from, half a mile away. And from a distance, it does look a little bit like a
My guess is he had his trained binoculars on there and had more of a close-up view than any of us will ever see.
Well, whenever you see a grown man, and you might even see something in pink, stringy, you don't expect it to go where it went. I didn't expect. So if you say bra, you go, well, yeah, that makes sense. But you don't really realize that material goes all the way down and makes a U-turn and comes up the other direction. And most guys, 1, can't do it. And 2, certainly couldn't run with the agility and the speed that he showed. So I will forgive him thinking that was a bra, because most of us would have been, we wouldn't have had the stride, let's say, that he had.
Most wouldn't have put that on to begin with.
Oh, well,
I mean,
different.
Victoria's Secret didn't design them like that. That's not what it was meant for.
The banana hammock?
Yeah, that's it.
Is that what those are known for? Is that what that was?
Sure.
Do we know who this guy, again, how many, okay, so we had one out on the last one, right? Didn't we have a well-endowed woman run out on the stage, on the field? Was that last year? Or was that 2 years ago?
It happens every year. Every game, there's something. I mean, there's been some famous ones, some famous web models, if you will, that have gone out onto the field. The guys, that's it. But the guys, I don't ever know, except for there's been a couple that have ads written on them as a way to get some free publicity for somebody. But for the most part, I think most of the dudes are just drunk, and they're that guy at the party that says, "I'm going to do this," and somebody says, "Yeah, that's a good idea," and now you've challenged them.
I used to believe that, and I think for a long time it was true. But now, with the security the way that it is, and the difficulty just to get through the 8 perimeter rings before you even arrive at the stadium, that the drunken revelers falling over the 50-yard line wall and running across, I don't think that's it. I think these are obviously planned, and the NFL's losing money. I think that they should sponsor this. Just every game, like the 7th inning stretch, at some point in the middle of the third, when we all just kind of need a break, we release the streakers. They can ride whatever they want on their back.
There's kids, man. You can't do that.
Well, I mean, tasteful, like,
all right, you define tasteful, because there's somebody out there that thinks that dude's G-string is tasteful. Most of us do not.
Well, it certainly provides a fair amount of humor, and we are certainly all desperate to watch it. And he did have something on his chest. I couldn't quite figure out what he might have actually had shaved into his gorilla-like chest fur. But if you sponsored it and just like release the streakers, you would actually want one that looked like that, because that's where the camera would gravitate, and you would have the great calls from the great play-by-play types. And you bring in extras. You bring in celebrity play-by-play types, and they get to call the naked person running down the field advertising some sort of South American or Cypriot offshore betting company.
I don't know that it would work at the game, but I think at the NFL experience, you could sell tickets for that, and then get your celebrity broadcasters to do that. And at the NFL experience, if you've never gone, you can throw passes, run 40-yard dashes, kick field goals, and streak. It would be the show off your package.
So if we're doing celebrity broadcasters, does that mean I could possibly get Snoop calling a streaker on the field?
Dude,
I think you could get a lot of things.
If he's on Cameo, you can get Snoop to do whatever you want for a small fee.
And as far as your comment, Jason, regarding the package, if you're able to wear a bathing suit of that ilk, ain't a whole lot of package to deal with. I'm just if you're gonna roll out with that
high price small package.
I'm just saying, leave your shorts on, because you want to leave something to the imagination. They shouldn't be able to all fit under that quarter-inch.
You've been practicing ventriloquism, Rob?
I often do. I do it alone, and I'm pretty good at it. When we come back, let's talk Super Bowl.
Good.
Super Bowl. Let's talk some Spurs. Game night San Antonio is around the corner. Jill Jelnick is going to join us. We'll look back at a good Houston Rocket win. DeMar paces again with 30, and we got the Golden State Warriors on a kind of a back-to-back, one of those businessman doubles coming up. Let's get ready for the Warriors next here on the Blitz. All brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
In San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Jason Minnick's here for Alamo Water Softeners, a great local company owned by the Townsends. I've known them for about a decade and have watched that company grow over the years, because they have a great product and great customer service. In fact, on the Nextdoor app, Alamo Water Softeners was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. When we moved into the new house a year ago, first thing we had installed was a new water softener from Alamo Water Softeners. Not only will you get better tasting water, you can save money, because an Alamo Water Softener will extend the life of your plumbing and appliances. So if you have odd tasting water, if your water has a bad smell, you certainly want to call Alamo Water Softeners, and you want to get a new water softener. And right now you can save $300 on select Water Care water softeners when you go to alamowatersofteners.com to get started. alamowatersofteners.com.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores. Okay, we've got Rick here, a veteran in the league who's gone 0-2 the past Valentine's Days. Do you think he can pull off a win this year?
I always like an underdog, Bob, but I'm not sure about this guy.
He's passing aisle 3, picks up a bag of wings. He dodges the produce section.
But will he pick up the heart-shaped box?
Heading toward the candy aisle. He's picking up speed. Oh, no, he chokes and heads straight to the checkout.
Unbelievable. This close to Valentine's Day.
Don't be a Rick. Make happy this Valentine's Day with a heart-shaped box of Russell Stover chocolates.
Okay, set it down over there and then go to bay 5.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business
We
thin.
need to keep going to finish.
Like Amir's warehouse. To expand capacity, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, bump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks. And here's a reason to really love Valentine's Day, our Sweethearts costume party. Get to Twin Peaks February 11th through the 14th to see our Valentine Sweethearts. The Twin Peaks girls are dressing up. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili. This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, and as he said, it's always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. We are joined, as always, by Sports2Nite's Jill Jelnick, our live embed reporter, coming to us from the AT&T Center. You want to see for real? Go to ESPNSA.com. Watch our broadcast live. Welcome aboard, Jill. Glad to have you aboard.
Thanks,
Jason,
guys.
as we dive into this, we get the Spurs taking on the Golden State Warriors. And when last we saw the Spurs, that they take out the Houston Rockets in pretty convincing, easy form. It should have been easier, but it was taken care of. They come in tonight with winning a couple of games, but a little banged up. No Lonnie tonight. What are the expectations when you see a Golden State team that's dealing with their own injuries? What do we want to see from the Spurs tonight?
You definitely want to see adjustments from their first game against the Warriors. That's what you need to see, a much better start, because that first game against Steph Curry and Golden State, man, that was a game that the Spurs wanted to forget. But seriously, like you mentioned, the Warriors down, they don't have a true center right now. Several guys out from injury. So you're going to expect small ball lineups and fast paces, which is fine because that is exactly what the Spurs have been trying to perfect all this season since the start of their bubble played at the end of last season. So expect with Derek White in the lineup, because Lonnie Walker is out. Derek White started for the first time this season on Saturday. Expect them to push the ball a lot. Expect hopefully some better defense on Steph Curry, because that's going to be key containing him, especially with him coming off of his big performance against the Mavericks where he dropped 57 points. So that's going to be a big one tonight, containing him.
Yeah, containing Steph in any situation is always going to be there. What's interesting is, again, no Lonnie Walker tonight, no LaMarcus Aldridge still, but you do get Derek White back. But I was seeing on Twitter, Pop saying pregame that Derek still hasn't been cleared to play in back-to-back games. Is he on any kind of minutes restriction either?
Pop did not mention any sort of minutes restriction, no. But you are correct. Pop confirmed today in his pregame presser he will not be playing tomorrow because he is not cleared for back-to-back. However, the good news is Pop says he expects, he didn't confirm, but he expects Lonnie Walker to be back tomorrow night from his stomach illness. So at least they'll have him back, but White will not be playing tomorrow. But that's correct.
The injury report for the Golden State Warriors is 3 pages long. Just know that they're going to be minus most of their bigs, and they're certainly going to miss James Wiseman.
Yes.
He was a thorn in the Spurs side the last time. And it wasn't just about scoring. It was the defense he offered, and it allowed Draymond to step out and do some other things that he's going to be forced to step in and take some of those post roles. Looking at the Spurs, Jill, I'm curious, we've gotten Derek White back, but since he's arrived, we're starting to run into other issues and other injuries with Lonnie now suffering. It's an illness. It's not so much an injury.
Right.
Is this stunting the Spurs' growth because we still don't have the full complement of guys and still don't really have a rotation in order?
It is a bummer because it feels we just got Derek White back, right? So we were just looking forward to having everybody full team, and then LaMarcus Aldridge is out. He's been out for the last couple of games with his soreness, with his hip flexor, something to do with both of those. But it's a bummer because it felt like as if the Spurs were just starting to build some momentum, right? They were coming off of those big win over the Nuggets, the Celtics, and then we just haven't been able to get them all together healthy 100% and also playing with chemistry and rhythm. So, yes, it's unfortunate, especially this time because everything is so close in the Western Conference right now. There's so much parity. These games are crucial. We've talked about it so many times before on game night. Every single one of these games is so important.
Well, and you look at that, and you mentioned Derek White and the chemistry as he works his way back in. He's got to find his own rhythm, his own game, get his own wind back, which is why I'm a little disappointed to hear he already knows he's not going to play tomorrow because that's just another one of those games where, okay, here's another one that's going to be a little bit different when you're putting together your rotations and just getting into a flow. And it does seem like, every game back, Derek White is looking more and more like the Derek White we were expecting. And, by all accounts, the game Saturday against the Rockets, one of his better games of the season, because he's only had a couple to choose from. Yeah. But you could tell he is finding his own rhythm at this point.
And Jason Pop said that exact same thing earlier, like literally an hour ago. He said he feels each game Derek White is getting more and more of his rhythm back, and he's playing, quote, freely. And like you said, you could see that Saturday. I hope we definitely see that continued tonight because Derek White is going to have to definitely step up and help on defense. I think with DeJounte Murray, the two of them maybe switching back and forth, taking on the load of Steph Curry. I think that's going to be the best way to contain them, a little bit of a dynamic duo there. So hopefully we can see more of that Derek White tonight.
We saw the Spurs play really well against the Denver Nugget team that really did not offer a lot of post defense. And Golden State minus Wiseman and minus, they got a couple other guys that are going to be sitting and watching, offering about 65% scoring in the paint. The Spurs have certainly focused on hitting threes, but if they keep playing teams that play donuts, you might as well get to the paint. You're looking at what the Spurs are capable of tonight. One of the primary guys that's good at getting to the rim is Lonnie. Minus him, where do we expect to see some offense that might not have ordinarily been there? Can we get a respectable amount from the likes of Eubanks and Pirtle?
I think they absolutely need to. That's the thing. You said somebody that we're not consistently seeing getting to the rim, right? That's Keldon Johnson. That's going to be, DeMar DeRozan in that area to a certain extent. But you're absolutely right. Eubanks and Jakob Pirtle need to not only be ready, but we need to see more of them tonight because that is the glaring weakness of Warriors right now. That's exactly where they need to attack. They don't have their true center. Draymond Green's going to be running all over the place. If the Spurs attack the rim early and attack the rim hard, it may open up more opportunities outside beyond the arc, and hopefully just more scoring opportunities in general.
Well, this also kind of looks like it could be one of those DeMar DeRozan games. I mean, you could have DeMar going for 30 plus and Steph going for 30 plus, and you get the shootout you expected from Mahomes and Brady. We're just going to get it on the basketball court. And I bring up DeMar specifically. We were talking about this earlier, and the underappreciation that Spurs have for, or Spurs fans have for DeMar DeRozan. In fact, some dude called up and called him DeMar DeFrozen because he's ice cold in the clutch. It's interesting because you look at DeMar, and Steve Kerr said today, I just saw this come across Twitter from Tom Orsborn, talked about DeMar DeRozan's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. And, you know, you hear that, you know, there could be a good debate there whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. But the fact that you've got a guy in Steve Kerr calling him a Hall of Famer as he's getting ready to play him, yet a lot of Spurs fans would rather see him not on the Spurs roster.
It's an excellent point because I've heard so many, not only just Spurs fans, but people within our industry not have a definitive feeling about, you know, where exactly DeMar DeRozan is in his career. Is he, you know, was this always a great move for him for San Antonio? And I think a lot of it also has to do with he's not a flashy player. He's not an outspoken player. He's not a Russell Westbrook. He's not going to get in your face. He's not going to attract all that extra attention. And I think what happens is when he does have big nights and when he does come up in the clutch, which has been a lot very often this season, flies under the radar. So I love the discussion. And I am absolutely not surprised Coach Kerr said that. But I feel you, Jason. I think this is another one of those DeMar DeRozan games. He dropped 30 on Saturday. I can see him and Steph battling it out, and DeMar DeRozan doing his thing in the fourth quarter.
Spurs to beat the Golden State Warriors. 1, have opportunities in the paint, and 2, need to defend the perimeter. The Golden State Warriors are still what they were, even if they don't have Klay Thompson. They're going to throw up about 38 attempts, and they're going to hit about 40% of them. Can the Spurs slow them down on the perimeter? Who do you think gets the Steph Curry nod to start the game, Jill?
I'm going to go with DeJounte. I'm going to go with DeJounte to start, and then a little back and forth with DeJounte and Derek White the rest of the way. And it could just be a feel thing. You know, who's feeling good off the right out of the gate, shooting well. And we'll see. I mean, we expect Steph Curry to be lights out from the start, but wouldn't it be nice if they could maybe slow him down a little bit in the beginning, first quarter? Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be nice. When last we met on January the 24th, Golden State, well, it wasn't the 24th, it was a little bit back that. Golden State goes bananas, 121-99 on January the 20th, and it wasn't even close. Can the Spurs keep it closer? Can they find a way to defend a Warrior team that comes at you in a lot of different ways? There won't be a Wiseman, but there will be a Curry and Oubre and the likes. We'll look at starting lineups, figure out how the Spurs get forward, and look toward a big and important week with the Spurs. Golden State twice in 2 nights. You're on Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We'll be right back with starting lineups right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for New Brakes, NUBrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. At New Brakes, they've made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they'll come to your home, they'll come to your office, wherever you're going to be for about an hour, and their certified brake techs will fix your brakes while you continue to do whatever you have to do on that afternoon or morning or whenever you get it done. If you're at work, no problem. You're watching a movie, no problem. You're just taking a nap. No problem. They come to you. You don't have to go to a shop and leave your car for a couple of days or wait around for a couple hours. And at New Brakes, they only fix brakes. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. They use premium brake parts and back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews at NUBrakes.com. And when you're at NUBrakes.com and schedule a repair, you'll save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, for all of us. Get them fixed. Newbrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
Game Nights The Blitz focuses on your silver and black in depth for 30 minutes. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
Spend your game nights with us. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
What do you want to da-da-da? What do you want to da-da-da? I have no idea what to da-da-da. We could switch to Progressive da. Oh, yeah? We could switch to Progressive and sa. Okay. We could sa and have to buy some za. Oh, yeah. Let's switch to Progressive to da and get some za with the money we saw. Yeah. Now we know we're going to da-da-da.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. It might just be the most normal thing you da-to-da.
Quote to da at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Golden Rolls. Last long, it's TP goals, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rolls in one. Lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or divorcedude.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. We entrepreneurs are always improving our listening skills. My dad told me at age 29, Michael, you're a man now. You're about to be married. You have responsibilities. You'd be a fool to start your own business. I did what any loving son would do. I started 5 of them. I didn't listen to my dad, but I have learned to listen to my customers, which is why my 5th successful business, Patriot Software, created accounting software to help non-accountants like me keep accurate accounting records. Go to patriotsoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of accounting software free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili. Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio. It's always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We are joined, as always, by Sports2Nite and YOLO's very own Jill Jelnick. He is Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. So the Spurs take on the Golden State Warriors. It's one of those screwy 2020-21 season kind of quirks where you play teams really quickly and back-to-backs to get things out of the way and get them taken care of. So we're going to get the Golden State Warriors tonight and then tomorrow. But tomorrow we won't have a Derek White, but we'll have him tonight is what we understand. Pop spoke earlier today. What did we get anything more on what Lonnie Walker's issues are other than stomach and illness?
Nothing more than just a typical stomach illness. He did say he's having a hard time eating. So even though he may be feeling better, I don't want to speculate. Pop said he's having a hard time just eating in general, keeping food down. But he did say he expects Lonnie tonight. So like you said, Rob, you get back Lonnie tomorrow, but you lose Derek tomorrow. So it will be interesting. There's your starting rotation right there. But I think, the Spurs have struggled off the back-to-back this season. Everybody's struggled naturally off the back-to-back. But I don't think being down another player tomorrow night is going to help them at all. Same with the case tonight.
Any word on from Greg Popovich earlier on LaMarcus Aldridge and when he expects to see LA back in the lineup?
No update on LaMarcus Aldridge. The last update he said was roughly sometime last week, and he's still unsure of a timetable. Nothing concrete.
The Golden State Warriors arrive in San Antonio with a pretty long injury list. The expected starters tonight are Steph Curry, Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Juan Toscano Anderson. The Spurs, we expect DeJounte, Derek, Keldon, DeMar, and Jakob Poeltl to offer their starting five. We did see a couple of things from our backup post. One, Drew Eubanks might have gotten his own personal poster shot. Man, that was a nasty dunk on Saturday night. The ups were apparent. Well done for Drew Eubanks. Do we think we're going to see more and more of a offense or more and more attempts at offense from Poeltl and Eubanks with the less LaMarcus around, or is the scoring still going to be dispersed amongst the others and not the five?
It depends on the matchup. On it, what the other team is running out tonight. Most likely not. I would say probably about average, just because there's not a huge disadvantage with size tonight. But moving forward, they need to step up anyways, because LaMarcus Aldridge, he was out for the beginning of the season, came back with us. Now he's out again. You just can't count on anybody, not just LA, but you can't count on anyone for an entire season, especially how capricious this season is with COVID-19. So I think it only benefits Eubanks and Jakob Poeltl more. The more reps they get, the more they can get into an offensive rhythm and step it up.
Well, then again, if LaMarcus isn't back tomorrow, and then, tonight and tomorrow, last two home games before the rodeo road trip, which certainly seems unnecessary, but 7 straight games on the road coming up for the San Antonio Spurs after the game tomorrow. And, I can't imagine, do you travel LaMarcus if he's not going to play in the first couple of games? Does he join the team at a later time? Just the weirdness that this year is offering, you wonder, at that point, do you wait till they come back after the rodeo road trip?
No, that's a great question. And it like you said, it's unique in this weird situation because it's not as simple as, just join us here when we head over here and you can fly it that way. No, there's very much more serious, stricter protocols with COVID-19. So it's just not as simple. So I'm not sure what will be the case when they do take off for the rodeo road trip, but you're right. It does complicate things. Go ahead, Ron.
I'm curious about the LaMarcus rehab, because keep in mind, we're just about a month away from the trade deadline. And if you're going to move a dude, he's going to have to be healthy. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be moved, but I think that there are two things that play here. One, the Spurs are, Pop sees a team that's going to have to learn to play without LaMarcus at some point, whether it's now or next year. Mm-hmm. And two, if you are going to move him, he's going to have to be in pretty pristine shape, because the teams that are going to want him are going to want him for now. They're going to want him to go and get a ring. And with dealing with the hip flexor like that, it sounds like, and we'll talk tomorrow with Doc from TSAOG Orthopedics, that this is one of those lingering injuries that might take away from a little bit of the short-term value that LaMarcus offers.
Absolutely. Like you said, a sore right hip. They're still unclear about, a timetable. I think Pop said as recently as Saturday that he's still working with his specialist to figure out more before he returns to action. So you do bring up an excellent question, that the trade deadline is approaching. And yes, he's not exactly gaining any value, right? He's only losing it because he's not able to stay healthy, because he's not, when he is on the court, he's not outperforming everyone else. So he is starting to lose some trade value in that sense. But because of that, I would still say wait past this first trade deadline, just because it's so early. It is so early, and who knows? The Spurs he could come back full blast and the Spurs completely not even consider trading him. That to me actually sounds more like the Spurs than anything, right?
Well, it does. And again, you talk about him coming back and getting healthy. See, and I'm just jaded. I see hip flexor on a Spurs injury report, and I read that as like plantar fasciitis when Tim Duncan was playing. He ain't really hurt. He's just getting a rest day, like Rudy Gay. They were both out one day with hip flexor. Rudy Gay's back, and he's fine. And maybe LaMarcus is seriously dealing with an injury, and I shouldn't look at it like I am. Like, well, there's something up there. That's not the hip flexor. All right, yeah, okay, take a day. It's a mulligan day. And maybe if he is injured, obviously I hope he can get better. But I look at that and go, And that seems like an awful long time for a hip flexor. What is going on behind the scenes with LaMarcus Aldridge? To Rob's point, you detailed the car. You got armor all on the tires. You got the for sale sign on there. Park it in the garage because there's rain in the forecast. So when somebody comes and kicks those tires, you want it to be all pretty and looking good, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You bring up an excellent point.
She is Jill Jelnick of Sports2Nite and YOLO, Texas, our embed reporter, as she sits at the AT&T Center and prep for the Golden State Warriors tonight. What is the atmosphere like, and how are they taking care of you when you do go to the AT&T, for those of us that haven't had an opportunity to step through those doors this year?
Yeah, a lot has changed, as you would obviously expect. First and foremost, the no fans factor is the most obvious, because this place would at least be almost full by now, right? We're a little over halfway till tip-off. Media also can't go below the balcony level. So right now I'm in the HEP fan zone.
Oh, I can see the roof. I can see the roof right behind you.
The roof is on fire. Exactly. So from a media perspective, covering the game's a lot different. You know, obviously no locker room. We can't even get anywhere close to that court level. And then I think, I mean, they have the fan cutouts, which I love. Tonight's not a Fiesta court night. I wish it was. I love it when they break out that Fiesta court. But it just feels almost like a preseason game. Just because you're not able to get into the environment. You're not able to get that hype factor that you could somewhat emulate at home watching the broadcast. So it's definitely different, but I am just grateful to be covering sports and have sports to cover.
She is Jill Jelnick, covering it quite well on Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Around the rest of the NBA, we did see a little bit of activity. The New York Knicks have picked up Derrick Rose. The Tom Thibodeau is reunited with one of his stars as the Knicks continue to try to ruin Emmanuel quickly, but that's an entire other story. The power rankings continue. The Spurs are rising in the rankings as they continue to be kind of a 500 football team and playing a Golden State Warrior team that is down a James Wiseman, coming off of a couple of wins. What did we take away from that Houston win apart from DeMar? What was it that you saw that made you feel like they've turned the corner? Or did you see anything, Jill? Because it looked like things were better, but I didn't see enough to make me feel comfortable about the week ahead.
That's exactly how I felt, Rob. You know, there were two times where they were down. They lost their lead, and they, you know, struggled to get back. They were able to get the job done in the end, but you're right. I wasn't comfortable after that game. The only takeaway that I liked, silver lining, was Derek White. Just seeing him be a little more fluid, a little bit better here. And DeMar, I will throw in DeMar DeRozan coming up clutch in the end, doing his thing, kind of taking control of the game. Anytime I see that, I'm more comfortable, because it does reassure you. It reminds you, oh yeah, the Spurs do have a star. He's just underrated, and he flies under the radar.
18 points in 22 minutes is what we got from Derek White the other night. The defense was stellar, and beyond that, we just saw a team that feels a little bit better about itself offensively when Derek is in that starting lineup. Let's talk about that second unit, though, because we know that Patty Mills has been very consistent there. He's probably not going to be a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year, but certainly should be in the discussion because he has consistently offered that offense. But he's going to need a second scorer. Can Drew Eubanks be that guy in a donut kind of team with Golden State? Can we hope to see that? Because if he can, boy, the possibilities of either he or Lyles offering some offense on a regular basis is almost too exciting to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it would be fantastic. I would love for Drew Eubanks to become that second scorer off the bench. But right now, I feel more comfortable with Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay did well the other night, 14 points. You know, I think you might find more consistency from him than you will from Eubanks this season. But again, it's a matchup basis, it's a night-to-night basis, opponent basis. Like you said, Patty Mills, you just loved him for the sixth man. But I still love that core, that second unit, and that bench altogether. Pop has spoken so fond of them this season, and rightfully so, especially with LA out, especially with Lonnie out. I mean, absolutely, this bench needs to step up. But the good news is they've been playing consistent this entire season. Them stepping up isn't anything new. It's expected.
I don't mean to take a hard left turn here, but you brought up Rudy Gay and his 14 points the other night. And I was at my mom's Saturday driving that down. So I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw a bunch of the highlights. You, Jill, college athlete. Rob, you were a college athlete. I was not. But every athlete that I know that have made it to a certain level, they're very much into a routine, very much a creature of habit. From what I can tell, that might have been the first game Rudy Gay played this season without an undershirt on. No T-shirt, just his regular jersey. What? A, why? And B, if he's out on the floor now, did he go back to because he played well in that basketball game, but he didn't have the undershirt on the other night against Houston. And I when I saw the highlights, I almost didn't recognize him at first. I mean, no weird headband, but no undershirt either. I mean, did he forget to put it on? Was he just trying to change up the mojo a little bit? And what's he going to roll with tonight?
I have a feeling Rob's going to back me up on this. When it comes to athletes, they are so superstitious. If it works, you don't fix it. If you're doing well with those lucky socks, you ain't washing them. So I would not be surprised if Rudy Gay decided to switch it up a little bit, get some mojo, and I would also not be surprised if he does not wear that undershirt tonight. Rob, do you agree with me?
Yeah. My thought process behind that is I wonder if there's an injury that's feeling better because, he's wearing a compression type thing that maybe was, kind of helping him with a muscular injury. But sometimes you do need to just kind of shake things up. And if he felt like things were odd, take it off. My guess is more like he didn't pack the right
He forgot?
shirt. Yeah, my guess is something more down those lines than it was anything else because we have seen Rudy vary things this year. We've seen him wear a headband a couple of times, and we've gone T-shirt on and T-shirt off. So maybe if you're just trying to find your groove and you're the old dude in the locker room, you got to stay cool. You got to stay hip with the kids,
Hey, I'll keep an eye out as they're warming up for Rudy, but I will tell you this. Okay, make what you want, but I just saw Steph Curry catch a pass from behind his back and drain a three. So what does that tell us? One, he's either going to be fire or maybe he's going to just try to catch every pass from behind his back. And wouldn't that be great? And the Spurs maybe take advantage of that? Maybe he's working
that's
on
my
that
golf game. You leave all the
game,
good shots at the range before you get to hole number one.
Yes.
The other night against the Mavericks, when he went off for, something akin to 50, nearly 60 points.
57 points.
I laughed at the preview to the game when they led into it with Steph versus Luka and not Golden State versus the Mavericks. And I'll be damned if the NBA isn't right. You lead with Steph Curry because he was absolutely ridiculous. And if you're seeing him taking those kind of shots before the game begins, look out. Short straw gets Steph because he's about to set you on fire. You're going to have burned fingers by the time the night is done. We hope that they can slow him down. It was a 20-point loss the last time we saw them, though their big number one draft pick, James Wiseman, will be out along with a couple of other of their bigs. So the expectation is we're going to see a run and gun game, play a little bit of perimeter defense, lock down, and get some layups in the paint, what the Golden State's hoping to do or apt to do. And you think the Spurs should walk away with a win because if they're going to go in tomorrow night without Derek White, I don't really like our chances tomorrow.
I agree. I say get it done tonight. Make your adjustments. You said they lost by 20 last time. A lot of that was because perimeter defense. Make your adjustments on perimeter defense, transition defense, and try to contain Steph the best you can.
They only lost by 20 last time. Why did it feel like it was so much more than that? Only 20?
Our third stringers are better than their third stringers, and they proved it. I think Luka even got into that game. Game Night San Antonio is always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. She is Jill Jelnick sitting on the ceiling there at the AT&T Center. He's Jason Minnick. Game Night San Antonio. Every game night brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We'll do it again tomorrow as we try to take the second half of a back-to-back against Golden State. Y'all have a good night.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7.
Behind the scenes with Don Harris. Good luck. Man, we do thank you for stopping by.
Hey, fellas, now that I'm working from home and I drive in every day, I'm listening to you guys all the time. I love the show, man. Keep it up.
I appreciate it, man. I read your tweet and your text and say, hey, man, here's the